What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, they, them, all binaries? Welcome to episode 4, right, of season 2 of Critical Builds. Thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful Saturday. Saturday.
Wow.
Saturday night. Yes. Welcome. So here we are. We are here once again. Big thank you to Ariel, aka AO Mecha, for providing the audio for that quick countdown. He if you guys don't know, he recently interviewed me and then used like some of my images for his backdrop for that specific audio track. So as a thank you, we went ahead and used it for tonight's show. So big thank you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our esteemed panel tonight. Starting with this gentleman right here.
Oh, I get first.
First,
Very nice.
very nice. This is the first for me.
Very
This is the
nice.
first for me. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4. In the middle of snapping a monster. It's a big monster.
Is that a Dyson? Is that?
It's a.
It's like a dendrobium.
It's been pretty fun, but I'm ready to get into it tonight. Look at some stuff, talk about it, give my opinion. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, Julio. Let's go on to this gentleman right here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, as
You freeze your screen again.
other pronouns and sisters. Wait, hold on.
with your eyes wide halfway.
Do the creepy one. Let's hopefully we don't get any quick frame freezes tonight, but no promises. I'm still recovering from some amazing news that I've been blessed with from these fine gentlemen. He hooked me up with a joy of a gift. I won't go into any details because I want to make a more grand announcement about it. But yes, I'm like on the brink of tears. These guys are family here, and they spoil me.
If you
On
hear
another
him
note,
sobbing,
I am working. Yeah, it's I here. Change subject before I break into tears. But I'm working on a Fenix. Believe me, it's a Fenix. As much as it looks like a unicorn. I had stripped it, and now I'm putting it together so I can work on some minor details and such. And why am I doing this, you may ask? Well, I am participating in ZakuAurelius and USA Gundam stores competition. I'm going to be building in the clean category. So I'll try to keep everybody updated on the progress as things go along, and hopefully I can finish this before May 1st. If you're thinking of joining, by all means, pay USA Gundam Store's Facebook page a visit. There's the whole details and what's required and the rules and things you have to do to get involved in the competition. I highly suggest you jump in, from experienced builders to brand new builders, because it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to looking at everybody's builds tonight. I may or may not know what we're in for. We'll see. It'll be a fun night.
All right. Well, thank you, Kyle. Thank you for joining us, man. And let me say real quick, the bit of news that we gave you was 100% deserved.
yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it, guys. You spoil me. I gotta step up my game because I feel like I'm still.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. All right.
Here's
Now
another
let's go.
note. Since I've been busy with not showing you guys boobs, here's boobs. Okay.
Oh.
You're welcome, man. Miguel and everybody else. There's some boobs for you.
Yeah, those are well drawn,
I'm
man.
about to remove this man. All right. Anyway, let's go. Let's go ahead and go on to our next host here. And this time, let's take it to the cool zone.
Oh, what up, baby? How's it doing? It's my triumphant return to Critical Builds after a very, very long time, so I figured I'd throw on some hater blockers.
Yeah.
No, man. Hey, guys. I'm here. I'm hanging out, and happy that you guys are all here with us, and we're gonna have a good night tonight.
Hell yeah! Thank you, Z. Thank you. I don't know if he's ready because he's doing a lot of stuff with it. He's ready. All right, here we go. All right, on to the next gentleman right here.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hey, bro.
I'm in the middle of like crunch finishing this this build. As you guys know, I'm working on the Machine Krieger build, and I'm like it was right in the heart of putting the gloss coat on my chipping work that I did today when I had to like stop and cook dinner and then take a shower and then get ready to do this. So hey, I'm here. I was doing that and now I'm not, and that's great because it's done. And we're here to talk about cool builds. There's some really, really great things to look at this evening. I'm very excited to talk to you about it and hang out with you guys tonight. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. And again, congratulations on 100 episodes of the Code Acquire.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, the Workbench 100. Yeah, because the our little Tuesday soiree is like 30 something episodes. I think
it's in its infancy.
Everything's climbing, just stacking. I'm just stacking episodes of like streams that no one consider.
It's only up from here, man. But yes, thank you, Brian. Thank you for joining us, man. I know you're
awesome.
You're
pleasure, my
extremely, pleasure. Yeah, I know you're extremely busy, man. So thank you. And then finally, we have
some entrance music.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Announce your guest.
Right. And then finally, we have our very special guest tonight. I've shown it off all over promos on social media. And finally, let's go ahead and show this man, Mr. Mikey Gundamoniumworks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shut down.
10 seconds. I'm just snapping. This is my commission that I'm doing. It's a Lando version Millennium Falcon. So got some photo etch and stuff going on with that.
Really?
But I was gone for 12 days down in Mexico, so I took a break from everything, and now I'm just trying to get back in the swing. And
did you guys win?
So, this man transformed down south.
Yeah, see, I got a little bit of color. Some time in the sun. That's what happens. You get a little sunburn.
Got that sun.
I'm good. Yeah, I made it back. I didn't spend time in a Mexican prison, which is good.
It's a blessing.
How'd you guys do? Did you guys place, or did you guys complete the trail?
No, in fact, nobody did, because the.
I think we lost
the Mexican rallies because
he's back.
Apparently the promoter didn't get the proper permits and never told anybody. So we were down there just with all of our stickers and numbers and making a big
hoopla.
I think we lost him again.
Seal out of it. What? What
there we
happened?
go.
We're losing you every like minute or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Let me fix that. I don't know why you guys are losing me. Maybe it's because maybe I'll switch over to the other. Well, we'll do that later. Anyway, is it okay now?
Cool.
Yeah.
It seems to be
so
okay.
Far, so good.
So, yeah, we got shut down on day 3, and we had to spend the rest of the time just driving around as tourists. So
I mean,
nobody
you
really
got
finished.
to hang out at the resorts and stuff, but
yeah,
it's a bummer.
I got to go see
Next
places
year.
that I'd never been before, which was cool. Down to Cabo and went to Cabo Wabo and the Office and Hotel California and all those cool touristy places. And but yeah, it was interesting having to deal with Federale checkpoints and getting your vehicle searched every 2-3 hours. And so
you're not bringing any contraband back to the States, are you?
I'm not saying anything. There might have been something in my carry-on or my
that's
check
a spare muffler, for damages. Yes.
But there may have been a worm involved. I don't know, something in a bottle of, but I'm not saying
Always something. Always something. All right, but thank you, Mikey, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. As Kyle kind of put into detail, there is another competition that's up and coming, which is ZakuAurelius' build competition of the clean versus weathered build off. I'll call it a build off, I guess, where you can choose whether you want to do a clean build or a weathered build. And then put that up and put you can win some very cool prizes from USA Gundam Store. Just a quick disclaimer: I am a judge for this competition. I am on the clean side, along with the one and only Hobbit Tim Hawkins, Child of Mecca. Yo, he gave me some BS on his show. I can do the same.
1 inch shorter. Let's put it on the record. 1 inch shorter than Pabs.
Way short. An inch is an inch, man. Okay.
That's what she said.
That man said all Filipinos look alike.
Yeah. So you guys have it up until May 1st. I believe that is the deadline You just all you have to do is email ZakuAurelius. So I think it's ZakuAureliusOfficial@gmail.
Yes.
There it is. Yeah. So kind of explaining your build and showing what you are going to be building. It does need to be a new build, so you need to show off the box and all that stuff. I think it would be a really cool competition. Definitely seeing both sides and seeing how people kind of progress with their stuff. And obviously, we still have our critical build off going on. So the core build off is still happening. We just got another prize donation for the build off. And I know he's in the chat right now. So Mr. High Craig, Mr. Colin right there has generously donated a bunch of his tools as part of the prize pool. So once we figure out how we're going to divvy out the prizes, we'll go ahead and do that. But big thank you to High Craig Colin for donating so generously to the build off. So.
One thing I wanted to add about the ZakuAurelius official entry, you not only have to send it to that email address, but you need to have a photograph with your unbuilt kit or fresh snapped kit, so like a raw box or just freshly snapped, with a piece of paper that has your name, country of origin, and the current date. That way, you know that
one category, whether you're doing clean or weathered.
Oh, thank you, Kyle.
Option.
Yes,
awesome.
And category. Yes. Awesome.
Yep.
Let me put that down too.
Yes, let's not forget that. Yes, it has to be a new build.
This contest sounds like a way for the government to track me. I'm not doing it.
No, sir. You didn't catch me that way.
Country of origin, huh?
Better luck next time.
Yeah, my country of origin was almost Mexico a few weeks ago.
If you guys do want more information on like the rules and all that stuff, because there is a bunch of them, just check out both ZakuAurelius' page as well as USA Gundam Store's page on Facebook. That has the most in-depth information. I know he also posts stuff on Instagram and all that, but Facebook has the most detailed information that you'll need to know. If you guys are interested in trying that out, we'll maybe win a couple of cool prizes. If you guys watched USA Gundam Store TV's live on Thursday, or if you guys watch the replay, you'll get more information on what the prizes are.
Wasn't it Friday?
Right. And you guys
was it Friday or Friday?
Yeah, it was Friday.
And you guys can get everything you need for these contests at places like USA Gundam Store and our other friends over at Galactic Toys. Colin, right? He's got some great tools. I think he also sells through like Show Me What You Bought if you're up in Canada.
Show Me What You Bought. Good guys.
So, and you can use any one of our discount codes. A bunch of us have them. Save yourself some money, but please enter. It's all about being part of the community and having a good time. And so just do it. And then, obviously we'll be here to help you guys along if you guys need some critiquing or advice or whatever it is.
Yeah. Now, when we do, I highly encourage anybody who's doing this build off to enter or to submit their builds into critical builds. However, I'm going to be dead silent when it happens. So just a quick FYI.
No bias.
No bias. I can't say.
Let me make sure I do that for Pabs.
I gotta be completely silent. I'll take myself out. Just flip the pictures and stuff like that. All right. So let's go ahead and start doing what the actual show is for, and let's do some critiquing, because the first submission is always a critique. So let's get started. So
bring it up. I'll be right back.
I got notes.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, yes, thank you.
We lost
somebody
one.
who did it right.
Back. He had to go.
He'll be back.
And again, also thank you everybody for joining us. I see people like Guy Daigogi, Miguel, John Lynn, Ty Furious, Manny, of course, he was here very early. We got good old Mikhail Mav, and QCF Buttons, obviously hi Craig. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. So let's go ahead while I know Z's still here technically, but let's go ahead and get started with
special for John Lynn.
No.
We'll wait till 9 o'clock hour for that one.
Who is your dad and what does he do?
We have to at least hit the watershed before we do any of that stuff. But let's go ahead and start off our critique with this gentleman right here, Mr. IG at Chaos Win.
Oh, he just hopped in the chat too. Perfect timing.
There we go. I know what I'm doing. All right, kind of. Sometimes I don't even know how to start the stream. That's
part of the plan.
That's just how we do. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about his build real quick. His build / background is the Tactical Pod Regult, 172 scale Bandai. All the pod imacross are blue and white for some reason, and he wanted to paint one in actual Zent colors instead of gray and green. So let's go ahead and share screen. And bingo bango.
Oh yes,
So-
okay.
Who wants to start?
Masking hell. I like it.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's all good.
Appreciate solid.
Yeah, it's got some really good masking.
Yeah,
I
very
do
good.
like that he included some work in
Very, very
progress.
clean.
It gives you a scale of what he had to do to get to where the finished product is. Because sometimes people forget what's involved. Like you think, oh, he just hand painted that or whatever. It's like, no, he went through some blood, sweat, and tears to get these layers. And
That ain't how it works, yeah, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Correct.
very easy. It's very easy to look at these photos and go, "Oh yeah, man, that's that's just a bunch of squares of masking thing. You just lay it on there." But this is hours and hours of work that you're putting into to make sure that those lines are nice and crisp and the colors that you want are correct. And
Solid.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
realistically, too, you don't have to have a single piece of tape to do a curved line. It's
Right.
actually easier to stack them like that and
Yeah.
still get. By the
compounding
time
squares.
when you add your panel lines and everything at the end, it's all going to be look crisp and clean and perfect.
It looks pretty. It's nicely economically done. Really, like
It's-
the amount, the tape. Like
Yeah.
I've seen way
It's
more.
very clean. Yeah, it's very neat in
Layered
terms
well.
of how
You
he.
guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys have one. I have a glass, the little God hand, glass.
Glass matte.
Yeah.
that I
Yeah,
put
I've got
all
the
in
Infinity
masking
one,
on.
similar to that one.
Yeah. So
Oh,
and
no.
that way you can just cut off what you need in
Mm,
small pieces like that and
little
makes it
squares.
very, very efficient. You don't waste anything.
I like it. I like
All right,
it.
so
I
here's
just
the,
think that
here's the
recommends-
actual finished build.
Mhm.
Anybody want to?
The appreciate and like the undercoat of that cream is so like buttery, dude.
And that was done in
really,
purple.
really sat nice. Really,
Yeah,
really
it's done in
sat
purple.
nice, man.
Damn.
My
I like how
favorite,
subtle it is.
my favorite
Not
is the
overwhelming.
back part of that pod, that head pod.
Mhm.
Like all the colors sit well in that cream with the red and the greens. Like really, really nice.
Well, this is going off of the DY. Do you remember Love movie colors?
Mhm.
Because they were more of a greenish color in the film rather than the actual TV series.
Yeah, they're blue, right?
Yeah, they were blue and white in the TV series, but in the movie, they actually had this kind of a greenish.
Well, the
tone.
Zentradi were more blue or more green in the movie as well, and do remember than they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always had those kind of muted colors, the dull. But I totally dig the appreciating and everything.
One
So
thing I
I'm
can
curious,
kind of.
is that dust?
Not to mention, I'm a huge Macross fan anyway, so
Yeah,
You got the thing on your top left corner there, Big Daddy.
So one thing that I kind of put in my notes here that I noticed, and I'm sure, I mean, this might be just because of how this thing is represented. You said it was in the movie, right?
yeah.
the color scheme's from
Right.
movie.
So this brass color just kind of melts way too close to this green a little bit. I mean, like it doesn't really lend itself well to separation. So and this also might just be because of the image itself, but it just kind of just melds a bit, and you're not really seeing the metallic. So maybe he finished this all in one finish. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Maybe
Well, yeah.
he probably
Machine.
painted his metallics and then flat coated everything. So there's still a little bit of a shine there, but
It's dull.
It's dulled, and you're losing a bit of that detail.
How do you guys feel about brushing a high gloss over something that you've matte coated, or would you just mask it?
I would just
I-
mask
I would
it
just mask
because
it.
sometimes
I've
it
done
doesn't
that.
adhere properly.
I
to
can
a
say
matte.
I've actually done that with the GX super clear line, in the bottles for small stuff. I don't know if I would do it on an entire
Yeah, something as long as that. would be
big
risky.
barrel like that, but
Mhm.
it certainly does work well. If it's thick enough too, you don't thin it as much as you would normally for
Yeah.
airbrush, and then it goes on
Yeah.
really nice and settles down and makes a nice fit gloss. But
Right, for like kissing lenses and stuff like that. or
Right,
whatever.
kind of like maybe even like the eye right there. You could easily go over that with that gloss and just make that pop even more, because it still looks a little bit muted. I don't know if if it's just the image or
Yeah, because you can see the
I mean,
lens
there is gloss
reflection,
there.
but-
You know what I mean? There is
Yeah.
gloss, but I don't know if it's like full gloss. It just seems like maybe it's
There's a sheen to it, but it's just not a high sheen.
Yeah.
It does look
And
like he went
I
with a
think it might be
semi-gloss
because of the
finish.
resolution.
One at a time.
of the picture.
One at a time.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Who was going?
No, you're good.
I was gonna say it might just be because of the resolution of the picture, because the one thing that kind of struck me on this was, and I don't know if this armor is supposed to have texture, but I feel like there isn't a lot of texture other than for like that kind of one right side there. I don't see a lot of actual texture. And again, I could be totally wrong. It may not be there, even in the anime or the movie. But I feel like with a piece like this, the metal is definitely textured, like a roughish kind of, if the things that you would see like on a tank or a plane, like it's never fully
Oh,
smooth,
like smashed it. Yeah.
right?
yeah. I see. I know what you're saying. Almost like a maquet kind of a
Right,
finish where you have
exactly.
that hammered steel. I think they're pretty smooth, to be honest. But
Okay.
I see what you're saying about the barrels, the turrets. You know, I think that's probably as a result of putting a gloss metallic finish and then matte coating it. Kind of gives it that rougher look to
Grainy
it.
look.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Another thing that I noticed, maybe in the first, more so in the first image of the finished piece itself, is just be a little bit careful with when you're sanding and you're applying putty and all that stuff. Just kind of noticing a little bit of a
Oh, right.
Mhm.
I see it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you
It's
just
clearer
got to be a bit
clearer
mindful.
on the other light.
What scale is this again? Is it 172?
Yeah, he said 172.
Okay, that's a pretty good size for that kit, because most Macross kits in 1/100 are pretty small, but
Yeah.
172 is decent. I wish they made more stuff in 148, but it's just you can't find it unless you're buying a Hasegawa
Sure.
kit or something.
But I mean, apart from that, I absolutely love the separation you've done here. I'm personally, I'm not much of a shading guy. That's really more Brian's wheelhouse. So for me, I mean, this is very cool. It's adding a lot of depth to your overall piece. I know this is not a particularly, I want to say, deep piece. It's very kind of shallow in terms of its surface detail. So being able to add that shading really added some depth to this thing. So well done on that.
Yeah, definitely brings it to life.
I think also too, because we're talking about the Zentradi, and their stuff was never clean. I mean, it was ugly,
Yep. It's like it was like some
they
weird
didn't have-
fungus. Or some shit.
Yeah, they didn't have flight crews keeping all stuff nice and pretty all the time. It was dirty and gritty. So the pre-shading just adds to that kind of that look, of just a little dingy.
I was gonna say, for the photo itself, I'd love to see this thing on like maybe a different colored background.
Well, I get the purple because of the green, so it helps the green pop.
Like,
Like
a darker background. Yeah, black. Yeah.
It does take away a little bit from the piece itself, just because it's the background isn't a neutral color. It's a stronger color, so it's fighting the focus away from what you're wanting people to look at. Yeah. There it is.
I do enjoy it. Though. This is a really great piece, Trevi.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear the description in the beginning, but to me it looks like you did some staining on this as well, which is a great touch. If you did, because some of this stuff doesn't look like it's pre-shaded. It looks like it's more of a
Like oils or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, it's very apparent on the shoulder if it is, right? Unless it's just a really dark shade that he used here.
Dark reshaded.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways you could approach that. Really,
It might be
There's
a
lot of
combination
products
of that pre-shading and some leftover panel line wash.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, or it could be any of the myriad of AK products out there.
And that's what I was leading
You know,
to.
Enamel washes.
Yeah,
I don't know if
You're
it's
like-
just there's an image where you're looking at the front, particularly like the eye, and I don't remember
Oh.
what picture that was. That was a pretty close up of the front face of the pod.
It'll be this one right here.
Probably. If you zoom in and look up to the, see it. Is there a fit issue right there? It might just be the kit, but you see where that
rim,
The
on
gap?
that side.
that white piece
Over on
fits
the
on the
right.
front. There's a bit of a gap there, and I don't know if that's just. It looks like a gap in the plastic, doesn't it?
It does look like a bit of a
Mm.
fitment, you're right. Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
little bit of a holiday in the
When I
mask.
first saw that, I thought it might have been a resin kit because you always have fit issues with that. But
Right.
knowing that this is actually a plastic model kit, it's possible that there's a gap there. And I don't know if that should have been addressed or.
Yo, what's up, Miami?
Yeah, I think. I mean, other than that, man, I
It
think.
looks great. I mean, it looks
Yeah,
great.
you
Yeah,
don't
it's
see
awesome.
you don't see people using the purple as appreciate very often.
Yeah,
No,
I
that
was
a really
very
good touch with
surprised
the
by
green.
that. When I
Undertone?
saw the final color, I was like, "What?"
it gets that
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
creamy, dude. That's a great touch.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
it's
great
similar
touch.
to like I use the Old Bone white over black, and it gives me kind of a purple to white, and it's kind of like that. But this was literally like a shade, and then a purple base, and then this wonderful tone on top of it, which is just like a whole another step farther. It's awesome.
Chris, did
Yeah.
you? I'm sorry, Brian. I didn't even interrupt you. Were you finished? I'll wait till you're finished. I thought you were done.
No, yeah, I know it's hard to know when I'm done, but I am done.
I was ready to like jump in because I was. Did he say what kind of colors he used or what paints he used when he did this?
He didn't go into detail.
Okay.
That description was pretty much all there was. And it's something I kind of want to take on. If you guys want to go into detail in as to what colors you used and why you used them and all that stuff, I think that would be really cool because that gives us more of an in-depth look at what you were trying to accomplish. What you guys were trying to achieve with your build. So I think that'd be really cool. Don't feel like you're.
Tamiya.
To me,
He said in the chat.
Yeah.
Tamiya.
Oh, Tamiya. He said he used Tamiya.
He's in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
He's in.
Yeah,
he's in
Travis.
the chat.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
he said
He was
that's a
saying
solid
that front piece is a solid piece as well.
Oh, interesting.
it's just
Really?
Just a deep paneling.
So that didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that didn't. Well, it wasn't a separate piece. Okay. Well, then it must be just like you're saying, a deep panel line or something right there.
Yeah, wash must have
Yeah,
just
you can
settled
kind of
there.
see at the bottom too. So it could just be the angle of the picture,
Yeah,
so we
it's
can't
just
see how
lighting.
it's.
I was going to say because I thought these pods kind of went together as one, like a front and a back half. I think
This
there might be a seam that goes down the middle.
Yeah.
What is this particular model called? Gumball Miami's asking. I can't remember what the particular
Regolt.
unit was. Thank you.
The Regolt, yes. The 172 scale Regolt from Bandai. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, man, like I said,
Great job.
really good job.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
I love the greens.
Mhm.
The,
I've had this on my wish list, this particular model on my wish list for years. And it's been and it's had my eye since I first fell in love with Macross / Robotech, as I was introduced it to me as a young child in the 80s.
I have one, Brian.
I believe you. I'll
he
get one
does.
too.
I
I'll
might
get
be
one too.
persuaded to sell it to you.
Look,
Oh.
look, listen, look.
listen.
this is the wrong show.
Yeah, he's not here. Let's not bring it up.
Yes, big, huge thank you to Chaos Wind, Travis, Chaos over there, for submitting this build, man. If you guys don't follow him, it's at Chaos Wind _. So don't forget that underscore right there. Give him a follow. If this is any indication of the work he does, it's great work. So definitely take his.
Check out his
Great
Sinanju
job.
that he did as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Word up. Sananju Fire.
I
And then
genuinely
let
like.
this entry be a representation that it's not just a Gunpla critique show. We critique
Yeah.
all
Oh,
models.
Oh,
so
moving.
I want them to
moving forward.
reinforce the fact that you
Oh.
can submit anything.
Moving
forward,
forward,
minis, all that.
Yo, well, yeah, if you guys are out there in the world, out there in the listening world right now, or watching world right now, aren't following Chaos Wind, Travis, check out his shit right now, because the decals he's fucking with are sick.
I'm already following him anyway.
Dude, I know they're so good though, right? Oh my god.
Yeah. So
I got really excited.
at Chaos Wind. So definitely check him out, guys. Really excellent one. Excellent one.
You
All right.
did not fail, sir. You did
No,
not.
we did not. We are also about kind of on that topic. We're gonna talk about something about that at the end of the show. There's something that I want to announce and show off real quick. So Just stay till the end, and we'll talk about it. All right, so let's move on to our next critique. This time, we're going to look at a quick work in progress of something that's actually pretty interesting to look at. So let's go ahead and show off his name.
Flying Grizzly, maybe.
Yeah.
FlyingGrizzly.net.
Yeah.
Instagram at flying_grizzly. His first name is Sean. So let's give his background real quick, his build name / background, and then we'll go ahead and talk about it and then show off and talk about it. So the name is something like Feral Lunatic Nightingale, which he hasn't confirmed yet. This is, so I'm going to quote him from this point. This is my first time doing any real kit bashing beyond part swapping, and the first time building parts from scratch. This started off when I wondered if I could make a Nightingale-esque Moon Gundam mod and tested it what it would be like with the MG Zeta Plus's torso and shield inserted as a waist. From there, I tossed the legs and started getting into the bigger mods, attaching the backpack of the RG Strike Freedom as an undercarriage. Head is the shoulder of the HG Kaplant TR5 Hyrule. If I said it right. Extended out with parts from the MG Zeta Plus's calves. In terms of scratch build parts, there's some in the undercarriage. I built a plate with embedded magnets for attaching those fuel tanks to shorten from the backpack of the SDCS Nightingale. The underplate attaches to a peg I added to the Zeta Plus parts with a polycap. Most work is going into the head and neck at this point. With how wide the head is, it was interfering with the shoulders, so the neck platform is raised pretty high from where it usually sits on the Moon Gundam. I think it's going to build out the waist. I think I'm going to build out the waist more with Zeta Plus leg parts. And I need to clean up and detail the tail and the underside of the head. The Nightingale backpack also needs work to be fitted better. I also need to go through and take care of seams and mold lines before I finish and paint. I still haven't figured out what to do at the back. Most of us don't, man. Don't worry about it. Yep. If y'all have any feedback, on any of this, the fit of the parts together, the technique, as much as you can see, I guess, anything would be appreciated. I've been really enjoying this work, so pointers are very welcome. Let's go ahead and share his work real quick.
Very nice. And we got a Wild Frankie in the chat.
Welcome,
Frankie.
What up, Frankie? There
Frankie.
I'm actually dying to see this with paint on it because it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yo, prime this.
So much.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Interesting fact: the Moon Gundam is a proto to the Zazubi, which is the movie canon version that the Nightingale would have been in the manga. So this is actually quite a good mix-up if you want to like follow chronologically Gundam as a series. So the Nightingale is the manga's version of Counterattack's Char's version. And the Zazubi is and the Moon Gundam is the prototype to the Zazubi. So just a little fun facto.
There's some data parts in there too, I think, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Yo,
I want center chest piece.
I want like thrusters underneath that thing, like
he's got the
bunch of that underneath it.
Yeah, he's got a fair amount.
He's got some. Yeah, he's got some down there.
These.
You want more?
Something like that. Yeah, I want more.
Put some primer on it, because it's like, oh geez.
Something akin to this, but not like exactly this, but something like that underneath it, just protruding out. That will. I think it will look really, really nice. Oh my god.
The 1/4 scale.
When you're kit bashing something, there's so many colors, different colors of parts and everything. It's kind of hard to see.
One thing I would kind of maybe recommend is maybe, so you're trying to go for kind of a Nightingale-esque, kind of almost kind of a Nightingale-esque, right? Because he said it in his description. I would point the Wave Rider head down. Because right now it's a straight phallic, like straight, straight, and it's looking more less of a mobile suit and more of like a ship.
Full armor.
Yeah.
You're talking about the part in the front, the big nose. That's
correct.
This guy right here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if he just pointed that a little downward, so if it followed the angle of, like, say, these funnels a little bit, I think that would make it look more aesthetically better and more cohesive as you look at this thing, even without primer, as a Nightingale.
Yeah, very much so. I was gonna say, or even shorten it. If you could shorten it, because it's so so that it doesn't protrude out so much, it might look better. But I think the angle is.
Nightingale got the big crotch piece though. Like,
it
Yeah,
does
that
come out
does
pretty
happen.
far.
you point that down.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah, if you point it down, it's going to be a lot better.
This thing needs some tanks on the back, some long
Yes.
tanks.
Yeah, it needs a bump. Like
No,
the way
like the
Nightingale
long
has that
tanks.
rear bump with the two tanks coming out.
Yeah.
Something
These
similar.
long
Even like short fat tanks. Not doesn't have to be big
Yeah.
long ones,
Ooh.
but some
Short
Exactly.
tanks.
You know what I mean? Some short
Yeah,
fatties.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
take
They
half of the
balance off the
MG
front,
of the
I'd
MG
One at
Sazabi
a time.
tanks and just take half of it.
yeah. Coming off the
But by
back.
putting that back
Yeah.
end, that would help balance out the front end too. And that's one of the
Yeah,
things
the
they do
backpack.
with the Nightingale was they back heavy it because it's got those big binders that you integrate. So by putting more on the back end, armor wise, not just thrusters or tanks, just something with mass that would help balance out the front of your kit as well. Because fuel tanks are great, but they're slender, and I think you want something with more girth and mass to take up that area to balance out the front
You're
end.
not.
He
You're
said
right.
girth and mass.
This was
He got his birth certificate.
These are the words that work.
this is the picture I wanted to get to.
I
because-
understood every word of it.
because he said he wasn't sure what to do with the back currently. So let's see if we can help him out with like the thing that he's
Look at
focused on.
those two nubs that almost look like thruster bells right there. You could easily do like your fuel tank attachment right there.
Mm-hmm.
From those two.
Yeah, bang bang. Yep.
Come right off the back
And-
of those with some short little fatties.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yo,
Yeah,
with
what's
the
that,
waistcoat, you add the bulbous back that Nightingale has, or something akin to that. It would cover up some of the gaps in the kit bash. You know what I mean?
Like
This
either
might
like
be-
from the Zazabi or the Cassatria.
This might be an expensive like kit donator for this build, but maybe the RG Xeon little back booty.
Oh, that's true.
So I would think so.
It is. That's like a $60 kit. So
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's an expensive part to donate.
Yeah.
No, I would on the bottom there. I would add some tanks up on the top where you see the two kind of open
You
areas
do three.
there.
Do three.
Yeah.
I could. I mean, you know, the other version of the Nightingale of the moon,
With the
The
Virgo.
the Virgo,
Yeah.
like its
Yeah.
backpack, or even the RG Sazabi's backpack, like the fin funnel.
Yeah, with the funnels. Yeah, dude.
Oh, actually, the Cabrera Tetra, the way that backpack is, where it's got a
Ooh,
dorsal
good
fin
point.
with the thrusters on the side, I think that would be very fluid because there's a lot of rounded parts to the Nightingale.
Sorry, we're telling you by
This kit is very round as well. So that's a good one.
typical.
Very roundy, girthy. That might kind of be a nice centric balance with all of the shapes you have because there's not very sharp corners besides the strikes, fins.
So the head is giving me some Metal Gear Rex vibes. Or
Yeah,
Metal Gear Ray.
Oh,
totally.
mouth, yeah.
it needs a
Or,
mono eye, dude. You gotta give it the
Throw
mono.
some liquid snake in there.
Ashimal, right?
Ooh,
From
some
IBO.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A little bit of that. I like it.
Because it has a beak.
No,
Yeah, a
I
little
do,
bit of
I
that.
do. I do feel like the torso is a little bit too small for this head.
Yeah, it needs some girth.
Well, that was one of the things that I made a note about was kind of like that connection right there just seemed a little wonky, and I don't know what you could really do to fix that, right? Where it
It's a
connects to
whip.
that lower body.
It's a whip, baby.
You
Yeah.
can throw some
Make it
power
tall.
cables around that, some thick power
make it
cables.
taller.
Or
make
like
it taller.
pistons.
Add some pistons. Make it
Yeah.
taller. Add some pistons. Yeah.
Oh, it has some
There's a variety
pistons.
of ways you can go about girthing up the torso.
Keep using that
Yeah.
word.
The girth.
I mean, it just flows
Stop
under
using
the
that word.
You better be careful what you say on the show, man. It's going to end up on a T-shirt at some point.
Exactly.
That's how it goes.
John Lynn will put it on a
Wow.
t-shirt.
Every episode is something new. Every episode is something new.
I like when I zoom in real close to the camera, just enough to hide my hair. I look super bald.
You like that 5 head? Yeah, it's my 5
Hey,
head.
baby.
Yo,
I have
if-
6 head. I got
If
6
you
head.
don't have the
Right, yeah.
extra parts,
The
you
six
can
head.
try making those shapes out of the extra parts of these kits.
Yeah, I was going to say
You want
like
to spend all that money?
the SDCS Nightingale has the start, like has that
Yeah.
that big back skirt. You can start using that and start elongating that, making it bigger
Yeah,
and bigger.
dude.
So to hit
Add
that
on
scale
to
that you
those.
need. Yeah.
If you don't want to necessarily spend money, you start using the parts that are left over from these things.
Like, could you imagine
Oh,
if
yeah.
you have that Nightingale back skirt, like the
Yeah.
right size right
Mhm,
here in that little area?
Yeah,
I
dude.
think that would fit in
Beautiful.
perfectly. Maybe cut it down the center so it's not as fat because it's very
Oh,
wide.
yeah.
So maybe kind of
Mhm.
narrow it a little bit so it's more
Sotheby's
streamlined.
1.0 back skirt.
Yeah.
You can use the side skirts from the Strike and turn that into a mega particle cannon for this thing. That would be dope. That would be really, really dope.
Maybe like a shoulder mount if we're gonna go with the Metal Gear thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
the way
He's not out there in the chat, is he?
I don't think
Oh.
he is.
Cool. I
think
just started
he
following. If you watch this in the future, I just started following you on IG. I have the OG Sazabi tail skirt that Mike Wine up there was just talking about for the master grade
Mhm.
that I'm not using. I've
Ooh,
already
no.
I already parted that kit out. So, if you, sir, would like to get your hands on the back skirt for the OG from 1990 Sazabi master grade, I will send that shit to you.
Yeah. So if you
That's
guys,
a nice
any of
one,
you,
dude.
And
if any
that
of you guys,
segue. Go ahead, Paps. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if any of you guys follow Flying Grizzly, maybe send him a message to let him know his work was shown on the show, and if he needed, he said he needed the input. It's here. So
Tell him to
Yeah.
come back. And I was gonna say, if you like Brian just offered that part, I think a lot of us here probably have some of these other parts that we were talking about. So reach out to I'm just gonna offer everybody in the chat up. But if somebody's got a part, they might be able to help you out. Just make a post about it, and I'm sure we can get you what you need without you having
Get this
to
thing
buy all
fucking
the.
beastly.
Yeah,
Beastly, dude. I can't wait to see this thing primed.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
That's gonna look nice.
yeah, I really I feel exactly the same way. Like if we can get this thing looking, all overall gray and stuff, like man, I think it'd be.
thick.
It would help to see like where you're really going with it, but what we can see so far, man, I'm really liking, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
This looks
a
really
very
nice,
unique
dude.
design.
Yeah,
At the
Really, really
beginning, Julio said a bunch of people said I want to see this thing primed. That's also giving me I kind of want to maybe do a fucking custom kit bash contest where you don't paint it. I want to see it primed. I want your idea in primer.
So this is his verse Z build of it. Leave it at prime
No,
because it's only going to be halfway done.
Like there are kits that you're like, I just want to leave this primed because this looks badass. You know?
Yeah,
We'll call it the prototype
I
contest.
know what you mean.
Yeah, like a
Create your own
prototype.
prototype Gundam.
When I did my the oh shit, what is it? The fuck, never mind.
It'll come back to you. It'll come back to you.
So let's go ahead and let's flip our flippity flops over to our first feature of the evening.
Oh shit!
Oh, for
Oh
sure.
shit!
My God.
And
Sorry, man.
yeah, let's
Trying
put
to
our,
get my
let's put
words
our,
on the t-shirt, man.
let's
I
put
wanna
our-
get- oh shit!
let's put our feature glasses on, and let's go ahead and
I'm nervous.
put
Is
his
it me?
name. No, it is
It's not me. Good.
yeah. This time, for now, we're gonna look at Mr. Plymo Build Report Session 65 at Plymo Build Report on Instagram. And the build name / background is the purple moon, and the concept is a G3 color scheme representing a moon crater-like shades.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to quote him from
Yeah.
here. It says, I wanted to paint 2 different gray tones with a lavender color. Gold details had been added for bling, used self-luminous paint for glow effects on the eyes and the ankle details, and used blacklight in photography. Color shift on cycle plates had also been used. So the paints used, thank you, Plumber Board. I really appreciate you for adding this. Ammo MIG acrylic paints, violet plus satin white for lavender color, silver gray plus Schwarzgrau for
Schwarzgrau.
Dude, Schwarzgrau is the best ammo MIG acrylic paint that they fucking make. I swear
That's
to God.
dude.
I
That's
feel
why I
like
said it that
Starship
way.
built.
And then testers
a
enamel
tribute.
gold, green stuff world acrylic paint, toxic purple color shift paint, and then neon light self luminous acrylic paint. So let's go ahead and share his build.
There we go. And what's up to True Gunplow? He's out in that chat over
What
there.
up, Joe?
What up,
What up, son?
Let's make
That's
this a
fancy
slideshow.
purple.
I like it.
We're
I
about
like
to
that.
make Pabs a hard boy tonight with this.
I know, right? I was gonna make
Give
some,
him some
like,
girth.
try to make some shrewd comment about how this was like trying to play to Pabs' heartstrings or something. 'Cause multiple shades of gray And
Mhm.
purple.
And
Gold
purple.
bling.
With purple
And it's a color
collision.
shift.
That's a
Color
common
shift.
purple.
And
I-
you get the JoJo pose.
That's going
I
to be
think
coming
I-
into that, I think.
I heard Pabst
Multiple
clutches
shades of gray
pearls
and
from
purple.
New York.
I opened this. I opened this. I opened this submission up, and I couldn't walk for maybe 2 hours. I couldn't get up. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay right here. I gotta think about baseball, grandma, cold showers.
Just think
No,
about
this is,
food, man. Just think about
dude,
Is
this
it
is
always
this
that
is
big?
no, normally, no. This is really cool, man. I
like
love
it.
what you've done. To
Eric did a
community.
great job. I really like
Yeah.
how this came
I
out.
really
Oh,
kill this.
let me ask you: Are these all finished build pics or some? I mean, obviously some whip pics, but I mean, are they all whip pics or are they finished? A combination of finished and whip pics in this?
That's a finished
It's a
photo.
combo.
It's a combo because he had the one work in progress photo, which is the showing
Where he's showing the
Inside.
backpack.
yeah.
The psycho thing, yeah.
But yeah, this
That's
is
a question.
Movie.
I have a question though about it because the reason I asked is because like there's a few images like that one even there, you can see the back skirt there, or maybe it is the back skirt. There's two images that shows the back skirt. Is there panel lines that are missing on some of the purple parts or?
Somebody stop Michael from making the same mistake I did.
Mike,
yeah. Remember, Mike, this is a feature.
feature. We can ask Eric offline.
I
though,
know.
if there's any.
I'm not critiquing. I'm not trying to critique. I know you guys have done that before, and I
Just me.
You already did that one.
I wasn't being a dick about it.
Touch base with Eric.
See,
Right.
So I've very recently started using Luminous Paint. So if anybody has seen my Double O Quanta like Space Knight conversion thing, that uses Luminous Paint on a couple of places, and I don't ever remember seeing mine being this luminous. You know what I mean? Like it was like
I was
this
gonna
is
say,
very
man.
bright.
You got to
Is that
luminize
paint?
it more.
Critique is welcome. All right, go ahead, Michael.
Are we flipping? Nova? Let's
no,
flip over.
it just seems like
Half hat.
there's a couple areas where it might be missing some panel lines, and that not that they like there was no panel line solution put in those areas, and that's why I was wondering if that was intentional or if it.
Ah, gotcha. Unagawa, I'm just trying to make myself feel better. All right.
Paint line is missing? Question mark? Is that even a critique? It's truth.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, this
I
is
can elaborate on it if you really want me to. Otherwise, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
'cause-
Let me turn off this. Let me turn off the feature slideshow, and then go see this one right here. There you go.
So, like, look at the lavender part on the back skirt there.
Yeah, on the hard edge, yeah.
There's no separation
Or even inside,
there
right?
between the two colors, even in
Or
like
even
the little thruster well there.
Yeah, within the well, exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So
say well.
that's
Mike.
the kind of thing I'm talking about. Is like there's a couple areas on the kit that have that kind of thing. Even the big backpack portion, all the lavender, most of the lavender end pieces don't look like they have any panel line solution in those either. So I just didn't know if that was intentional or.
yeah.
In this image as well, it reads on the back that thigh component where the dark gray
Yep.
meets the light gray on the vertical line there. It looks like the panel line is a
Very
little washed
true.
out.
Even
There
the
in
gold
the tail skirt too. Yeah.
and the gold
And it's always
piping
hard
too.
when you have edges like
Exactly.
that to make
The gold
sure the
piping.
panel line
No.
stays.
One at a
That
time.
gold
Yes.
piping
sometimes-
could be-
On the back
That
of the
gold-
leg, particularly too, the gold on the back of the leg is noticeable too. But
Yeah.
Do Unagawa, I know you're joking. But that gold piping, like it could be a reflection, or it could be a seam line or a mold line. I think.
Hmm.
So yeah, like on that pipe pads underneath the thigh or behind
on
the knee.
the back of the leg, yeah, right there.
Yeah. So that could
Yeah.
be, I mean, there's so much great stuff here.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's really nice. I
There are
mean,
little things here and there that I've seen, like on the gold itself, it doesn't encompass the entire part that is gold.
Got you.
They
Little
have-
holidays
You got a little
Yeah.
bit of bleed out kind of
where the
thing.
gold took the day
Yeah.
off or whatever.
I don't know if you were hand painting the metallics in. I'm
Yeah, I'm
guessing
pretty
you
sure.
were.
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, because I mean, this is very indicative of a brush stroke.
it's also
Yeah.
testers. It's testers enamel, so it's kind of
Yeah.
tricky to use in an
And
airbrush
it's-
anyway.
Yeah.
And then he
Most
says
likely, it was hand painted.
right there. I just masked those lavender veneers.
Yeah. So a bit of tip I would give you on that is, if you're gonna mask
Hard
it,
edge.
yeah, just give it a hard edge with a chisel,
So
and boom,
Mhm.
problem solved.
So you can throw
So,
some panel line in there.
Z has it, but I've built this moon
I
in
do
the
have it.
past,
Campaign.
and what I had to what I essentially did was I just rescribed. I had to not rescribe, but I had to scribe lines over here just because it's this is all just one piece essentially. I mean, obviously this piece is a secondary piece that goes underneath it, but this is all just one piece. So if you just if you have a chisel, just
Yeah.
make some quick
Well, even
lines
if you
in there.
don't have
Or
a,
the
you can use the back of a hobby knife.
Of the,
Or a
yeah.
back up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Even
my
if
favorite
especially-
tool to me is Scriber 2.
No, don't use that shit. Damn acrylic cutter.
No.
It's huge.
I want to know. I want to know how the hell you did this pose. Is there an action base somewhere? Like,
No, man.
Holding something up.
Balance.
He used the power of JoJo reference.
Yeah.
man.
Straight up.
No.
That's
I would
serious,
never in
brother.
my entire my years of building will I ever get a build to do this pose ever. Like just I can't. Like how do you do it? I don't know. No, I don't know.
No, and again,
The color
going back to
separation,
fluorescent paint,
really
it's
nice,
just a
man.
great use of the fluorescent paint because it pops everywhere.
It pops hard.
Yeah, I do like that.
I love the
that-
tones
that
of gray and
fluorescent.
lavender.
Yeah. The color
It's just
blocking is real
like
nice.
especially on the torso, man. It just goes
Yeah.
around, bro.
And then you
Beautiful.
throw in that glow in the dark eye coloring he used, and it's like, oh, that works perfect. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, with the little kiss of the UV on it makes all the difference.
Ooh,
that
beautiful.
cycle frame look.
The pictures are phenomenal. Like really
Yeah.
well done. Really,
Really well done. Look how neutral this background is. So here's
Yeah.
here's a tip for those who are looking to do like better photography, especially nowadays that we're doing a lot more online stuff. Like look how neutral this background is, and even though he's used somewhat of a dark color like these two grays, it pops just
It
because
still
you're
pops
not
on.
having to you're not looking at anything else other than the topic, like the subject. That's what you're looking
I
at,
mean,
and then
have zoom in on the shoulder.
Which
Center.
And while he's zooming in, the only
The-
other
right there, yeah, look at that hard line on that gray dark piece. Like,
which one?
that's-
I'm looking at.
Yeah, just right where your cursor is, like just to reinforce your statement about how because
The
he had a
background.
neutral background and
on the
played
shoulder,
it,
yeah.
you were able to get a hard edge on a dark color still.
Yeah.
Cheep,
It still pops. Yeah.
shoop.
Really nice.
Yeah, no blending, no blurring with the background. It's a nice hard edge to keep the kids in focus.
Yeah.
And because of your color palette, the only thing I will add here is if you're not completely satisfied with the clear plastic pieces on the shield where they're purple, Moto makes this great paint, which is a 3-way flop, right? It's purple green with a bit of blue. And if you can tell on the screen, it kind of looks like this. Let it focus for a second. This would
Oh.
be banging.
Hold on.
Like this.
Oh,
Ooh.
With your color team, this would be badass on that shield, on those clear pieces. So just a thought, you can probably get it from the folks over at Robot Kai, Bella and them. If you feel like kind of adding a bit of that green pop into that shield piece,
If we're still doing a critique, right? I guess it's a critique now.
I love this thing. I'm gonna do both.
It's great. I'm
It's
gonna
a-
it's a feature geek.
Sorry, I didn't mean to turn it into a.
No, it's
okay.
cool, man.
The one thing that's kind of jarring that why is it there? To me, are these the red clips that you use to put these things together. They're a little like if there was a way for you to hide these a little bit better, I think that would
Paint them black, maybe.
Yeah.
Or gray or lavender.
Gray.
like just something to tie it all together because the red is just way too jarring because you've got this beautiful neutral color scheme. And the things that pop complement each thing, and then all of a sudden you have this jarring red. Bam! Like,
Hello.
hello.
Clips.
Like, why are you looking at me? Stop looking at me, red.
It's the raw plastic.
Mhm.
It's nice. I mean, if you're gonna be changing up the backpack and taking it out of the C formation, then I mean, try to coat it as much as possible for it not to chip paint when you're clipping. But if you're just gonna leave it like this, yeah, definitely hit it with another color.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Raw plastic. Yeah.
easier. But yeah, man. Other than that, dude, I really like this build.
I do too.
I do.
Dude.
Not because it's purple.
Yeah.
No, not because it's purple. This is like
Not because
I
it's purple.
I see the hard work that you put into this thing. I see the theme that you were going for. And your photography game, I mean, clearly very much on point. Yeah, dude. I mean, good
Yeah,
job.
if you want to switch spots with me on the show, man, you're more than welcome to. I can't do that. The last thing I would say, and the only thing I think for me would have tied it all together on that is the pipes on the torso there. If those were gold,
right there.
yeah, like if those were gold to kind of match with some of the gold accents. That's just me though. I'm just saying.
That's true because he has the pipes in the neck.
I think I like it. I think I like
You're
him
right,
better.
yeah.
I think I like it better if I like it better that they're gray because it just keeps it nice and neutral. I mean, the pop of gold would have been great too, but I think more personal preference. It's nice as
again, it's personal preference.
It's risky business when you do high contrast on whether it's gonna not blow it or not.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So
good job, man.
I mean,
that was awesome.
I follow this dude. I think I follow him on Twitter as well. But at Plamo Build Report. I know you've watched a couple of episodes. Thank you for the support, man.
He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel, right? You said that?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got another IG channel.
IG. I follow my.
What is it?
He painted a age kit recently, and I was like, I like this.
I really like the Rockman kit he did recently.
Oh yeah, he be doing things. Go follow him.
He's doing some good stuff. But yeah, I don't know if you guys. I mean, what are you doing with your lives if you're not following this guy? So,
I just did.
There you go. Yeah, please follow him. Let him know that he does some good work. So
Excellent job.
Yeah, definitely excellent job. So let's go ahead and go. Well, that was a feature that became a critique, and now we're gonna go back to critique.
Let's take a commercial
transition.
I'll just put
That's
some
a commercial break.
No
this
break.
This show was brought to you.
Hey guys, in a month from now, we're going to be doing a show. So please like, subscribe, and camera cut.
Oh no!
Okay, we're back. You're unmuted.
We gotta for our commercials. We gotta have like different. You gotta have different angles, so we gotta move them like.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Thanks for watching. You're still watching Critical Builds? Thank you for sticking around.
And dude, thank you for submitting. Honestly,
Yeah,
that was really good stuff. A pleasure to look at, and hopefully you keep continuing making more good stuff because I like what you do. So, yeah, man.
It takes a lot of courage to put your stuff out there for everybody to look at.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Especially when it was supposed to be a feature.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You unleashed
so,
it with Z around.
So back to.
What do you want from me?
Back to the critiquing. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the critique, even though we were already at a critique. This time it's going to be something a little bit different, since this is technically our first of this type of build.
Oh, this is the
Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet! Yes, great.
As Mike just said it out loud, IG at Kobayashi Zaku, Mr. Sean Wiles, and his build name / background. This was an entry for the Styrene Syndicate Facebook group, Automotive Group Build, the Revell 124 scale Land Rover. Not only my first time entering a competition, but my first time building a car. Almost all the entries were very clean builds of American sports or muscle cars, but I'm British, so I did a dirty old Land Rover. Of course you would. No digestives were eating the production of this model. British then. Don't worry about it.
Well done.
British. Are you kidding me?
I'm really British.
I'm taking that national insurance card straight away. That's gone.
You can't go back.
You can't go back. All right, so let's go ahead and
over there. What? No edibles?
There we go.
This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, straight dirty. Love it.
I love it. I love this. Yeah, this is great.
If you had cropped this right to just like cut it from here to here, I would have sworn this was the real thing. Like, this is
Agreed.
This is so good, dude.
This is
so
good.
well done to scale.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
look
even
at
the rocks and the pebbles in the terrain are very
the pebbles
well
in
to
the
scale.
terrain, the dirt on the windshield, where the wipers are cleaning it,
Mhm.
and just a little bit of scratches kind of on that window by the roof, like the little hatch. Just
Mhm.
everything about this is absolutely beautiful.
This boy's seen some sandstorms in
I
his
like
life.
Mhm.
the part that caught me was one of those little details you might overlook is where the tire treads going through the mud, they stop right where the wheels are. So this is like the first
Yeah.
time a vehicle is
You
driven
just
on
run
this.
all the way through.
Right.
Mhm.
There's no more. The treads don't keep going. So this is like you took a screenshot of where this vehicle came up and just stopped in the dirt because the little tread. You see how they stop. So that's it. It's like
Yeah.
that's a cool little
Fresh
touch.
tracks.
It's easy to run tracks all the way through the
Super
image, but or through the diorama, but to stop it like that, it makes it look cool. Like this is the first time somebody
yeah.
drove on this since the last rain or something. So
Right.
Mhm.
Right. That's a very interesting catch right there. That's awesome.
I,
tells
I
us
like the
story.
wear and tear he did in the wheel wells.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so true to the Land Rover.
mm-hmm.
And
Every
there's
time you
nothing
see an old
overly dark,
FJ
right?
770,
Nothing
they
here-
always beat up wheel wells.
You gotta,
Kick your shit
whoever
off.
owns this vehicle's got to work on filling that fuel tank. They're spilling all over the place.
you gotta
Take
tap
off
the
the tip.
tip, man. Tap
Yeah.
the tip.
tap the tip.
Everybody's
No,
got the
but,
bathroom. We know how to do it with dongles.
but nothing's overly done, right? Like people can lose their minds real quick when
Yo.
they're weathering
This
things.
this man's in the comments. I'm gonna take your national insurance card away. How you not eat no digestives when you build? Stop this. All right, sorry. I'm sorry. Z, continue.
Sean, I will give you that, man. Aston Martin DB5, probably the greatest fucking car ever made. So,
It's made by Germans now.
but now it's made by India. So,
The one thing I did wish had a little bit more of it right underneath the window, underneath those bars. Like I wish that in like a little alcove was a little bit more weathered. Like something like that driver's side underneath that bar is clean. It looks clean. You know,
I see what
like
you're saying.
yeah, just like
I'll-
some sand or something build up.
So
That's-
maybe the window was down and they rolled it up when they got out.
Well,
No,
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 those
no,
things
below
flat.
that.
he's talking
It's
about
below that.
below that ridge, that kind of round pipe
That bar
right
right there.
below that.
Okay, right there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So two
There's,
things,
there's a flat area there that could collect some dirt and dust.
So two things that I wrote in my notes was that the first thing I want to say is absolutely nothing betrays your scale here.
Oh yeah.
Everything is beautifully almost in scale. Like the only thing that betrays your scale is dust, and because it looks just slightly bigger than it should. Like nothing. I'm looking at this. I'm like nothing betrays the scale, and this is. I'm gonna say Julio's word. This is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal, dude.
I wish I could see more of the underside of it.
Yeah.
because
See that drivetrain.
some of the suspension elements that you can see, to me, might need just a little more dirt because they're constantly just being bombarded with dirt and mud.
Leaf springs and such.
But it's hard to see that with the underneath the vehicle. There's one image like the other side of the vehicle where you can see the frame and it looks like. Keep going. I can't remember which one. It's one of the side views on the passenger side, right there. You see the frame.
You can see
That
the
looks
frame
dirty. That looks dirty down there. Like that.
Mhm.
That's what the whole underside of that car should look like.
For
Especially,
yeah, go ahead, Mike.
no, I'm saying especially as weathered as it is, that's what you'd expect to see on all the suspension elements. So there may be just a little more dirt and grime in the tires, and then on the suspension parts you can see. I don't know, but that's just an observation,
I
really.
mean, obviously it depends on the terrain too. Like if he's just going through a dirt patch like this, it's not going to get too terrible. But if you went through some mud puddles, obviously a lot of that's going to cake under where the bushings and all that are for the body.
True, but if you look at
my
the
gripe
conditions
is
of the
the
vehicle,
bumper.
this isn't right off the showroom. This thing's been off road
Yeah.
for years now. So
A good minute, yeah.
there's going to be a lot of
The
that.
bumper is my area of concern. If you go to one of the front,
Bumper's a little fluky.
he actually has two little weathering on both the front and rear bumpers.
That's what I was going to say.
Considering how much wear and tear, they don't
Good
really
point, 'cause
show
I
much
missed
wear and
that.
tear on the
Good
front
point.
bumpers.
So the
Yeah,
front bumpers, the
as well as the
tire on
rear,
roof, the tire on the hood as well. And then you see the
Well, I mean, the
orange
tires, but
legs.
you can clean that off and stuff.
But if he's just
Understand.
stopping, if the vehicle was moving and it stopped there, I would definitely expect to see a lot more dust and dirt in the front of that tire than the back side of the tire.
That's
Well,
true.
he does
Who's
actually
gonna
have that.
clean
You can
up-
see where
Who's
he
going to
he's
clean off the
emphasized
tire
front.
and the hood Yeah, well, who's going to clean off the tire on the hood and not clean the windshield?
Yeah, true.
You know,
Yeah,
and if the
but
windshield
the-
is collected
yeah.
that much dust, I'm just saying.
And the dirt's
Mm.
the other thing is the mirrors. The same thing. The mirrors should have a little bit more. And then like the amber lights, I would expect them to be dusty.
yeah,
look
they should
very
have like a little bit of a kick
Yeah,
on them.
just little
'Cause
knockdown scene.
Yeah, and the headlights have it. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, right. Wouldn't the amber light have it
that
next to
front
it?
end should have a little more coating on it because it's going
Not
to catch
to-
everything.
So
More
Not to
beef
really
in
do
the
this on
bottom
your
of those
build.
bumpers.
This thing's beautiful. Like,
one of the
Yeah.
things-
Well, it is
Just
a
minor
critique.
little things to add.
Yeah, it's a critique, and we've barely critiqued it because we all love it so much.
the second thing I was going to say in my notes was I would have loved to have seen in this. I don't know if this is like an impossible thing just because of the scale of this, but I would have loved to have seen maybe some scratches and stuff and some dings on the handles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know,
from the
because this thing
moving.
is going to be constantly moving up and down, opening the door and closing the door.
What is the
Oh,
scale,
yeah.
by the way?
124 scale.
Oh, okay, so
What's
it's
a big boy? It's a big boy.
6 inches, 6 inches long.
Yeah, I would have loved to have
Yeah,
seen. You know, 'cause
Another
it's-
thing,
it's-
it's no fault. It's probably the kit design because this is a Rebel kit, but the windows, the way they attach to the model kit,
oh, they suck.
they don't leave. Yeah, they don't leave too many like rubber seals around them. They just basically slap on
Yeah.
there, and so you can see those hard edges, and that's the kind
Through
of
the corners.
detracts a little bit. But it's no fault to the builder.
Sean's.
Obviously, that's just the way the kit's designed. But I don't know if there was a way to maybe putty using some epoxy putty or something to
Yeah.
putty those edges, make it look like a rubber seal
Make it
going
like a
around
seal.
those windows.
Oh, right, add it in there, add a little gasket. I hear you.
See, he added some of the weathering here on the handle in the back.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that a little bit more on those side doors.
Sides.
And again, it's probably a
Agreed.
bunch of it is probably just oversight because when you're weathering a piece like this, you kind of just tend to miss in places.
There's
He
also
also, I mean, he
some
even got the
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some dirt on those
Rear lights.
turn signals.
Yeah, yeah. But he must have started in the back, and then by the time he got to the front, he was like, "I'm done."
I just wanted to be done.
Doo-doo.
And the last thing that I will add is when you have a truck like this that's been used and you're trying to show the use, the beige roof should definitely, especially when there's kind of like that gap on the roof between
True.
the top and the bottom. I would expect it to have more like rusting streaks, where each one of those kind of like, where that line is, the hard line above the window. I would expect to see some rusting streaks there because you cannot get under there to clean, wash all that. So just the environment is going to cause that rust to happen. So I'd love to have seen a little bit of that.
So, as a British person myself, I've ridden in one of these. I don't know. So, Sean, I know this is maybe like a reach, but is this a farm vehicle? Because I remember riding in this on a farm, and it's almost identical to the thing I rode in.
The FJ70, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, and then
Small
Patrick
one.
Robertson, you are absolutely correct. Like we are struggling to look at
This
things
is
in a clear
nitpicking.
way.
Nitpicking. I need
Yeah, this
more
is like-
dust.
You gotta find
Aaron.
something to talk about.
Nitpicking. Yep.
It literally is. But it's little shit like this that you'll bring it to an IPMS and be like, yo, you got best in show, bro. Can you believe that shit? Like, goddamn.
But yeah, man,
Little-
this is
little
fantastic.
things.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sean, man, for bringing this in. Because
Yeah,
this, I mean,
Is he in the chat right now?
he is in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
So ask him how he did the front windows, because I'm curious to know how he did the wipers, like that effect there.
The
You
frost.
do the masking tape trick.
Yeah, sure. I'll ask him for you, Mike. Hey, Sean, how did you do the?
You
Thanks
just
for
did.
being turned out for me.
I was just gonna say that
Sure.
for anybody entering ZakuAurelius' build off, man, this is a good example of weathering, like weathering in terms of not overdoing it.
Man.
There's a lot, when I see a lot of people doing weathering, and I'm not a weather builder. I see a lot of people overdoing it. And I'm like, oh man, that looks way overdone. But this
A little
is a
goes a
good
long
example.
way.
Exactly. And then Sean says
Masking
awesome
tape.
tape.
Masking tape.
Hmm. Okay.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
Sorry,
And
my
then,
desk was too
sorry,
big.
my desk was too big.
Gotta chop off those granules a little more to get that fine.
You get Sean. You get 10
Aw.
demerits for that dust. I
No,
swear.
seriously. And Sean, as far as someone who builds beyond Gunpla, I aspire to be at this level when I'm building a car or something like that, because this is the kind of thing that you're like, yo, I don't care, wife, if you don't like models in the living room. This thing is going on display.
Yeah, look at this.
Mhm.
It looks like you cut this thing out of the Sahara. Like,
Yeah.
Like Pabs mentioned, if you cropped it and didn't show the background, like maybe you put like a fake background with some Sarah, people would literally think this was a legitimate Land Rover. Like
Yeah.
that's a
100%.
testament to your weathering, that it's so to scale and realistic that if all you did was change the background and take out the fact that you can see that's a base, people wouldn't know it was not real. This is a model.
If you
And
took
and that's
this,
the ultimate goal.
The
if you
hard part
took
is
this,
light.
if you took this outside, like in like
Yeah.
a Greenland area, find like a nice rock to put it in so that it doesn't betray your scale, and then took a photo of it, I would be like, oh man, look at that Land Rover in the farmlands. That's
Yeah, dude. No, for real. You're right. Yeah, like take this outside at a kid's playground where there's a sandbox, like a big sandbox, and put it on there, and take this picture with like the backdrop of woods or whatever, and rocks. This looks like a real goddamn thing.
yeah, absolutely.
And the dirt was done really well.
Trick all the people
Yeah.
on the internet.
I can't wait to see what else you're going to start doing with other things.
Well, you should follow
This
him.
is the first time he built a car,
Wow.
mind you.
Yeah, so
Very
you know,
impressive.
the last thing he submitted was that ARC-78 statue, like kind of like not marble, but
Yeah. It was faux. It was stone granite. But yeah.
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 I mean, dude, there you go. Miguel says,
What playgrounds do you go to, Miguel?
That's only in
He
Brooklyn.
just lives in the States, man. That's
Yeah.
anywhere.
Sean,
Anywhere
I have to ask
USA.
you, though, your name, your IG name is Kobayashi Zaku. Either you like the hot dog, professional competition hot dog eater Kobayashi, or you're a fan of Star Trek Kobayashi Maru, which is more like the Kobayashi Zaku. Do you build Trek model kits as
One of
well?
those. Sorry.
Look on him. Talk shit. That might betray your scale. That might betray your
Yeah,
scale.
we'll
Betray scale a little
betray
bit.
scale, yeah.
this is not Jurassic Park, good sir. No. But yeah, so if you guys don't follow him at Kobayashi_Zaku, please do. Sean, dude, I mean, that was fantastic, and I wish you had just put it in as a feature because you made us work very hard tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good work, dude. Really, really good work. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to our next critique of the evening. I know I saw him in the chat earlier as well, so he should be here. Hopefully, he's here. And it's this gentleman at nanopon_mecha, aka Dave B.
Hold
and
on.
it's-
I want to know if Bill's genuinely shocked by this.
These are the bases, yeah.
Can you just imagine Bill's face? What the?
Condom in the playground?
A prophylactic inside of a children's playground?
Trying to stop the contraceptions?
Yeah. That's great.
Those two things I don't have for you.
Those
Yep.
things-
All right. All right. So let's go on to
Oh my
Dave's,
God.
aka Nanoplaw's build here. So this is a work in progress critique. This is the Evangelion inspired display stands. So they're not. It's not a kit specifically. It's more. We're going to be focusing on the stands themselves. So some time ago, I purchased the 1/7 scale Evangelion pilot figures, but didn't like their stock display stands. So I decided to scratch build stands of my own using polystyrene sheets, strips, and pieces of rubber. This is strictly a scratch building project with the objective of increasing skill and fabricating stands that complement the figures. I started with rough sketches and laminated styrene sheets. I wanted these stands to look like launch pads or flight decks that each pilot would stand on prior to getting into their EVA mech units. I imagined these stands to have exhaust vents, handlebars, and some matching elements from their plug suits. Man, for a second there, I thought it said butt plugs. I was like,
What Evangelion did you watch, bro? I didn't watch that.
No,
I incorporated each pilot's designated unit number from their suits onto their stands and opted on using raised number details to create depth. I ran into issues on deciding on proper foot positioning on their respective stands due to their body postures. I added press-fit styrene pegs with cemented blocks underneath for added tightness. The stands are 3 millimeters thick, 60 millimeters wide, with styrene strips for raised legs. As I progressed through the build, I ran into a creative block with surface detail. After receiving advice from a previous streamer about the dangers of adding too many micro details, which stream was that? I decided to dial back and instead decided on just adding focus detail. Sometimes less is more, and I didn't want the stands to be hard to look at. So what I need help with now is deciding on two things. Okay, so this is the important part. Okay, the type of focus detail needed and an appropriate color scheme. I pre-ordered the USA Gundam Store detail parts to help me with focus detail. As I wait, I thought it would be a good opportunity to get helpful feedback from fellow builders. My options for focus detail are the following: one, a floor cutout with exposed piping underneath with floor surface, which he provided examples. And then two, a detachable block accessory that uses neodymium magnets or rare earth magnets to represent an ammo crate, computer terminal, or an AC box unit. As for the color scheme, I want these display stands to look sleek and sharp, as if they were from a high-tech facility. What colors would communicate that? Your ideas, suggestions, and constructive feedback are greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance, Dave B. Nanoplan Mecha. So let's go ahead and share his.
Let's go, Dave.
So first and foremost, I want to ask a question to Dave B.
I really love this.
Are you trying to maintain canon to the anime or manga?
Oh.
If so, that will dictate what I will say. If you're just trying to match a high-tech facility centric, then
Aesthetic.
you'll have your different. But if you're trying to match canon, you'll get one answer versus the other being.
Yeah.
I produced this episode, Miguel. Butt plugs, boobies, other stuff you find in boxes.
You see, you got a dead hog in the sandbox.
Only feral hogs.
Moving
Julio,
on.
only the feral hogs.
Can you still eat those?
So
Let's focus on
I will
Dave B.
say though, when I was looking at these photos, I was just kind of going through the whole stack of photos, just kind of looking at everything and just kind of taking it all in before I even saw anything. And as soon as I saw this, I said, "Is this Dave?" And it is Dave's stuff.
He's got a style, nice.
Yeah. Well, no, I know.
Okay, so just a high-tech facility. So he's not doing canon.
Okay.
Okay.
I like him. The main reason I like him is because there's not a bunch of holes in them like every other action base out there. You know?
He wants to add some.
Optional to angles and a little bullshit.
He wants to add
Boom. See,
certain, right?
that's awesome. Those work perfectly, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So he wants to add detail, but without detracting too much from the figures themselves. He wants it to be sharp.
I think the panel lines he had on there were perfect for that. I mean, it doesn't need much more than that, really. Just
So he mentioned having either like attachable pieces that are connected via magnets or exposed pipes. I would think exposed pipes would be more appropriate because you have a fair amount of raised detail already. I think having some recessed detail would give you more depth to the base without taking away from it.
Yeah,
you don't want
doesn't
to
he-
have too much coming on top of each other because then it will take away from the figures.
doesn't he have an example of that too? I think in one of his images.
I believe so. Yeah, he mentioned something
Let me
about
see
that.
if I can grab that real quick. Yeah, let's keep talking about this while I try to find that.
Yeah, because I think it would lend to the high-tech facility too. Because I mean, when you're dealing with heavy equipment stuff, you're going to have coolant lines, you're going to have drainage pipes, whatever the case may be. And I think that's more centric to a facility versus like vents and stuff like that, which could apply to anything.
Well, he did also say
yes.
something about a pad right before they step into their suit. So you wouldn't. I don't know. I'm going to say I wouldn't have big holes with pipes in them where you have to step across something, but maybe on the sides.
But like the recessed piping, that right
have a
there,
grate over it or something.
stuff like that. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah,
I don't
it looks
wanna
cool.
go
I'm
that.
just thinking more of like
One at a time.
unbelievable type, launch pad or whatever. You wouldn't be walking across a set of open pipes, unless, of course, like you're saying, you put a grate across them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the grate would be more realistic. Also,
Yeah.
he could have them around the base too, so not just on top.
Yeah, I was
that's
thinking
what
on
I
the
was
On the
sides.
perimeter to
On the
add
sides,
some
right,
center-
right.
Yeah, that could add some dimension to it without impacting what he has on the top as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, this is a high-tech facility. They wouldn't have things on top of a platform that's being
You wouldn't have trip hazards
Tripping
walking
hazards,
right
yep.
right.
into your mobile suit.
Oh, trap doors, sir. Yo, Dave.
Did you get the robot? I can't. I broke my leg.
Yeah, turn an ankle trying to get in my suit.
Yo, before we go any further, I just want to know why Dave only has 20 followers. There's probably more than 20 people here right now on IG.
Wait, how does he only have? Seriously?
Yeah, can you guys please go and follow this man? I mean, look at this work.
Well, even on top of that, follow his.
I follow that guy already.
I'm
share
friends with him on Discord, but
I know that guy.
Share this because I think this
How is
this
this possible?
guys. This is the
I'm
kind of thing.
I'm following too.
Hey,
This-
Pabs is talking.
All right, Paps, go ahead.
This is the kind of thing that you don't get to see very often in people's feeds. Like usually, it's a work in progress of a kit or something like that. This is this is I go. I want to add on to the kit without even actually working on the kit. So this is this is for figures. You don't get to see this kind of thing often. So I don't see why he shouldn't have more followers. Like definitely follow him, man.
well, he doesn't post a lot of stuff out there. I see a lot of his stuff because he's in the Alex the Doof Discord. That's where I met Dave. So that's why I've seen this work as it's been coming along, and I see a lot of Dave's work. Shit's all good. So
I do like the fact those panel lines travel, across the base and then down the side as well.
They're realistic. They don't just terminate out of nowhere.
Right.
Where'd that panel line go?
Now let's talk about color scheme.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I would around the recess tags for their unit, their designation. I would do metallics and the actual designation, the raised detail in their suit colors.
Color. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
That would be
Ari would be pink. Depending on if you're going to go with the rebuild version for Ray, it would be black or yellow or blue if you want to do original anime, and then obviously for Asuka, red. My girl,
dude. Adding the little bars and the box looks really nice on it too.
Even doing caution stripping,
So,
whether you do it just across it or you box it out, that'd be cool too. That would give
that
it
wasn't my notes. I mean,
mechanical
if it can be a little generic, but some caution markings, yellow and black, in certain parts that obviously you don't want to step on. Would be really cool. And I'm doing this just to slide Kyle a bit. Like when I zoomed in, I didn't zoom in on the ladies.
Yeah, why you gotta take me out of the real part of this picture? I don't care about the bases. Let's look at the girls. Come on, man. That's the point. The bases accentuate the figures.
I'll do what Chris says, and I'll just
Be still, my heart.
And that's it.
Wait, no, too fast. Oh god.
But yeah, I think
nice. That's an awesome little wave tool.
Dude, you do those piping cutouts around the rim of those bases. That look crazy dope.
I was gonna say this isn't a critique or anything like that. I think I don't know, Dave, if you've ever thought about this, but I think you have something that you could sell potentially here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like people would love to have stuff like this. For whether or not it's their RG Evas or their Eva figures like you have here.
Yeah.
That's something people would be really interested in just saying.
Yeah. Cast it,
and then
scan it, 3D print it.
Wait, she's not an Eva pilot. Who that? With her cheeks out.
That's right.
That's what's her name?
2B.
Is that the
Same
person
thing here.
Some resin custom.
God, you guys are hurting my heart
We
here.
need to dress up as?
No, that's Ray in some sexy outfit. Yeah, I just realized it looked like 2B, but that's not.
It is 2D, right?
No, it's Ray. It's Ray.
No, man.
The audacity of these guys here.
I know. Kyle is rolling over in his
I'm
grave
sorry.
right now.
2B, man. Get that shit out of here.
Gunplay Miami says, show the cheeks for science. Okay.
Hold on. I got you.
Removed from the stream.
But no, to touch on Pab's message with probably having this as a manufactured product you can sell, to go along with the magnet idea you were having, if you have option parts, that would then thus lead to the buyer having choice based on what figure they wanted, rather than being centric, and that could open.
You could easily mount those underneath the base; they wouldn't even be seen. All you do is stick on whatever you want.
Multiple choices for just slap a magnet piece on top of it. So that's something to take in mind if you want to go into more production by giving option parts with your bases. Could sell, increase sellability.
Yeah, and then Bill with the going to raise array flag markings, use of them will limit scale for making it fit. But maybe colored lines either show people the way, like in hospitals, or marking lines for like in manufacturing. I mean, it depends on what they're going to be used for. I mean, obviously they're going to be used for these ladies, and I mean, I'm sure you can get some markings and stuff like that for this scale.
Caution, hot stuff.
Yeah.
Beware of blast.
Moving parts.
These are great though, man. And
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
really nice.
It's definitely like I said, it's definitely something you don't see very often. You know, people make parts for their kits, but they don't make parts in addition to it.
Mm.
So
Yeah, some metal parts that boost the
Mhm.
overall.
Get
Yeah,
those
man.
little nerve markings in like a corner somewhere. Just
Yes.
Woo!
And so if you're feeling froggy, you can get the nerve decals. They have them on the decal sheets that are for Unit 1 and 2, I believe.
Mhm.
I think 3 has its own water slide decals as well, and it comes with a nerve icon if you want to add that little spice.
Does 0 have them? It's the only one I have.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say 0 and 1 definitely, because Pab's got me 1's markings for the base,
Mhm.
and I know they have the nerve in that one in that collection.
Nice.
Dude, yeah, these are great. I mean, if you do decide to ever manufacture these, I think I would buy a couple. Even though I'm not technically an Evo fan.
I'd get it for my units, not some ladies, sir.
Jay heard cheeks for science, and she came back.
There you go. One more time. Cheeks for science. All right.
I think they want you to zoom.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, you can zoom in on your own screen. You can zoom in
Pineapple.
on YouTube.
There you go.
Exactly.
Boom.
That's a
I
good.
really thought that was 2B when I first saw it. I was like,
It does look a little bit like it, right?
that is not a pilot, sir. And I was like, oh, okay, Ayanami. All right.
So if you guys, I mean, definitely follow him. I know he doesn't post very often.
Yeah,
but,
go follow.
DB at @nanoplaw_mecha.
And that's already
You know, give him a follow. Let him know that you like these and you want to see what direction they go into. So
Yeah, I want to see
really
those
awesome
things, man.
stuff. Yeah,
Def,
really
def.
beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and flip the script, and we're gonna do something that we did last episode, where we're going to do a work in progress feature,
Yep.
featuring one of our hosts,
Who could it be? Who could
Mr.
it
Me.
be?
Look at this guy. I know this
Robot
guy.
Builder?
That
So we're doing a feature work in progress with @Brian, Mr. @BroBuilder on Instagram. And we are going to go ahead and immediately
Get your
share.
guys ready. Get your pen and paper. Get a chance to write down some notes. Oh, here's my daughter's
No,
artwork, by the way, guys.
Oh,
She's an amazing
that's
artist.
yeah.
Look out in the future.
damn.
Should be popular. Little Banksy in the making.
All right, so Brian, do you want to? Yeah, I'm just gonna let you.
Because I didn't write anything down. I just dumped like 40-something photos on Pabs. Welcome to my
Well, tell us
workbench.
what we're looking at first.
That's a lot of paint, and you're looking at the work in progress of the painting for the Regal resin model by Calamity that we showcased last show.
Brian,
Yeah.
real quick, just to interrupt you real quick. Just let me know when you want me to move on to the next photo.
Oh, sure, of course.
Next slide.
Can you make him
I-
bigger? Because I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Or make
Make it
the just make the. I'll be here.
The window
I just gotta
bigger?
use the bathroom. I'll be
Bye, Julio. It's very simple. You didn't have to say anything.
Just
That's
get
the
up and
thing.
go. You don't have
The
to.
best part about that was that he didn't. Yeah.
It's
Anyhow.
like, you could have just gone, "Hey guys, I'm not gonna say that. I need to go pee. I'll be back."
I
We're gonna have a
just
screen.
get up and go. I don't turn my camera off.
So as you guys can see, that I call this a work in progress because the model is still to me a work in progress. But at this point, there's a lot of painting that's already been done on the kit here.
Mhm.
Ton of masking, ton of brush painting, ton of everything. Perhaps if you zoom in on some of the detail on the legs there in the back, or
Yeah, I'm loving
yeah,
that camel paint.
yeah, you can see my I instead of doing this the Flecktarn circular pattern like I did on Homer. Nice, yeah, my Homer sticker. There's Bart's there on the other side, sitting like this. You just can't see him. He's behind the
Donuts.
but yeah, so
Shoulders.
I did, yeah, and then the shoulder, the blue on the shoulders too. I did the same, and then there on the legs, it's kind of a repeated pattern. So I went with the Flecktarn for the flea, and for this one I wanted to go for something that was still a fun digital-esque pattern, but I didn't want to go with the standard like squares and shit. So I went with these really long, irregular triangular shapes, and it gives it kind of a, to me, I feel like a safari or like a tall brush kind of camo.
There's a word for it because like real tree makes a pattern that's like gosh, what's like
It's something
almost
with
like
an R.
like grass or
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the actual name of it, but there is a camo pattern that's like that, and there's an actual name for
Is
it.
it like reed?
Like reeds, like reeds.
It's reed. That's what it is. Because Mike's right. It's an actual like operational camo that's used by, I think, like some European countries use a similar pattern. We use tiger stripe on the ABUs, and then our current OCPs are
duck hunters. Duck hunters use it too for their swamp types.
Yeah, for their blinds.
The current ones are the old BDU. They have a name for this shit too. It starts with a C, I want to say.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is either, but yeah.
No, mossy oak is actually tree branch. That's the one that's the company only uses.
Oh, right. Yeah, you can see some of the like some of the pre-painting there. Like I barely have done any work on that engine unit for the Calamity. That's all just done in Mission Models metallics with a couple of highlights.
It's the razzle dazzle meets grass camouflage.
Nice. But I didn't want to do because I did so much all over camouflage on the flea. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more segmented and like, you know, not just all fucking camo. Yeah. I can see the big gun there.
Wanted to show proper part separation.
A little bit, yeah. So perhaps you can advance the photos if you want. There you go. So this is what you're going to expect when you look at the top of that chassis. Yeah, I just kind of did my best here to pick out some of the different colors. Obviously, this is early in the painting scheme, and I think I did add oils to this, so everything is detailed, but I don't have a photo of that. You can see that polycap, that mega-sized polycap that I set in that Lego hub. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so there's a joint changeover. You can see that looks like finished off, and it blends in pretty well with the rest of the model.
Right, where is this? This is at the waist, right?
Yeah, this is the top of the pelvis.
You haven't panel lined it yet, so that's why.
No, yeah, it's still WIP.
Fully separated yet, but
yep.
Once you panel line it, it'll be all sweet looking.
Yeah, it's all. I think
it's already cool looking.
Yeah. I was just trying to like use certain colors, but not go too crazy to add little bits and pops of things. Actually, there's like decals and stuff all over the inside of this too at this point, where it is now in reality, but not during this. So perhaps you can just keep jumping ahead. I'd buy that. Nice. So here's a little photo of that engine with a little bit more color work on it. Feel free to zoom in and stuff, Pabs. It's still pretty rough because it's all brush painted in there. It's just like so much little tiny reflective things reflecting off of reflecting things.
Look what goes crazy on his custom.
Yeah, and then it gets clear coated and you get a wash on it and it looks spectacular. So there's just so many different tones trying to pull out details and make it all look good, even though it all gets hidden by armor. Go ahead and advance, Pabs. Yeah, there you go. Here's a little bit more a nice look at that detail on the model itself and some of the different accents. Just try to bring in some different elements. So I didn't have the blue panel or that blue trim on the front of the upper part of the torso at first, and I felt like it was all just green like that, and I'm just going to leave it. Or no, it wasn't green. It was that was a beige color. But yeah, so I felt like I needed to tie in a little bit more and add some more blue to it to make it not look so all the same tone, all the same color. This thing,
for you.
Yeah, lay it on me.
So that blue, is that the same blue that was used on the shoulders? Similar,
yes.
In the camouflage?
Yeah, one of the blue tones. Yeah, it's that was a marine blue by Ammo.
Oh,
Mig.
Nice.
It kind of has a greenish blue tone to it. Yeah, I like it. A little bit more blue, but a little bit of green.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see some if you zoom in on the bottom there, Pebs, you can see some of the lower detail on the lower part of that front chassis. The little details that were painted in.
Greebles in there.
Yeah, all the little brush painted greebly bits and everything. Yeah, it's all painstakingly done. I had to clean all that stuff up too, because it's resin. You can skip ahead. And here's the backside.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, blue panel on the back.
Well, that's that same part, right? You just had to.
Yeah.
We saw the back of this already, but now we've got the
yeah, you can see it with the shroud. Yeah, you can see the armor on it. Just kind of dry fit with the the various little elements and stuff. I had to heat and warp that entire assembly in the back there to fit because the casting house had fucked up a whole set of things and he had to have some parts rerun. I was talking to Luca about this when I bought this back in 2017 or 2017. Yeah, 2017. And and so I ended up having to heat it up because it's solid. It's like thick, like 3/4 to an inch thick resin, and then heat it up and like force it into place and like get it to stay to
Tears back.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Section? You talking about that blue piece that's on top? That's what you have?
The blue piece was slightly warped, but that actual back part, there's two assemblies that go together, and then there's a big seam that you don't see because I finished it all off. But those two parts fit together as a clamshell on the back, and the way that they sat, one side was like out like this, and I had to like heat it and form it to come back down inside, and then make that whole thing fit together. Because it also ties into the front canopy, and the front canopy is made up of two different components that pin together, or actually 5 different components that pin together, and then yeah, it's not an easy thing to build. I built all of this in like 2 months, by the way, and painted it all. So that's why I got second place. It's cool. Hank took first, and he did a great job. Brian just playing expert mode at this point. I don't know. This is a couple years ago. So yeah, Pabs.
Just last year. What do you mean, a couple years ago?
Was it last year? The beginning of last year. Yeah, it seems a couple years ago. Oh yeah, there's just more details and.
Yeah, 2020 felt like 2 years ago.
Oh, you're right, it did.
Well, we were young kids.
There's another polycap there on the inside, and you get all those details, all those panel lines, everything was chased. All the edges were chased. Every surface was resanded flat, and all the panel lines were scribed deeper to make it pop. That's how you got to do it, guys. If you're going to take on a big model like that, you have to expect it to go in. Yeah. You can just.
Is that right?
There you go. There's a regular 100 scale figure. That's from the ACT guy. Is that where that figure came from?
I don't like the nubs.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, dude.
You got to work on your basic techniques, man.
Critique.
I'm sorry. I'll try to get better. You can zoom ahead.
That guy's
or you can zoom in on it, or you can zoom ahead. It's up to you, man. It's cool. Just like we're just kind of looking at stuff, and I feel I'm talking a lot, so you guys can.
Look at that! Oh, well, I mean, this is good because we get an insight into your process.
Oh, sure.
That's why I'm keeping quiet.
Is there a word on the side of that cylinder head that's sticking out?
Yeah, it says wine.
It says wine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wine technology is part of Luca's canon for his whole world that
Mikey's got to buy it now.
My name. That's mine. It's for my namesake. That's mine.
No, I think that's
that's WEIN. That's a little bit different.
It's close enough, man. All right.
Semantics. It's all right.
Mine's this kind of one right here.
So this is some custom numbers that I figured out. Drew the font up on vacation in my notebook. And
Brian, why did you add 10 to the best number in the numeric system?
Stupid.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving right along. Here you go.
Stupid.
Here it is, all together, standing up.
Crazy.
He looks very surprised, like
Yeah, just kind of
Oh,
like,
shit.
arms out. Oh yeah, all the hoses, all the wires, and everything ran through it, and I'll paint it. I painted all those by hand by brush,
So
obviously red.
so
Yeah.
so
Are those actual
Brian,
rubber hoses too?
I'm gonna
Yes,
I'm
they
gonna
are.
I'm gonna
I
try
had
to
to replace them.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
try to answer. I'm gonna try to ask questions that I feel like people would want to ask when people look at bills like this. Like when it comes to the insane amount of detail and the meticulousness that comes with making so many parts, so many different colors and all that stuff, and also the masking and all that stuff. Like how do you approach that? Like what is your approach to making something this monstrous in terms of the amount of things that you have to do? Like do you segment it? Do you just tackle it all at once? Like what is your like
Well, no, I don't tackle it all at once. I mean, I went to art school, and I remember the stuff I went for that. And it does play a part in planning things out because you can't just like run blast off at a project and expect it to come out properly. I spend a lot of time while I'm building a project thinking about these sorts of things, like just like lamenting, honestly, like with a drink and a smoke, like looking at stuff and just thinking. And you make a lot of changes. I spent a lot of time modifying this and spent a lot of time with the model, so I had an idea as to where I wanted to take it color wise. I have experience with Luca a little bit, and I know some of I own all his books, so I can look at what other people have done, because he doesn't just do his own work, he shows what other people have done with his work. And I wanted to take my own approach to certain things. I had like an aspect I wanted to do, and then I just have colors I wanted to play with. It's a little bit of a little bit of calculation and a little bit of whimsy. It's fun to say. There's some. This model comes with two tiny little detailed antenna that were both miscast in my model.
It's just the rhythmic punching of dots.
Actually punched a couple
That's
of
what's
dots.
going on in his head right now.
But this is just a detail image of some purely scratch built from styrene, all raw styrene antenna replacements that I made. I made one short one with like a wider wing, and then another one that was like much longer. It's dramatically long. And then those just plug right into the back. You can see some more of my masking work there if you zoom in on the tank pabs, and you can see the spiral on that guy. The spiral and then the end cap on that came out pretty well. That's just a mask job, obviously. So take tape and then get it to spiral properly, evenly all the way around on both of those, just to add another level of detail and a little bit of depth to it.
Sure.
Yeah, look how long that antenna is.
Yeah, right.
The thing that jumps out to me, and you like your work is amazing, Brian. Like all of the different details and stuff like that. The thing that jumps out to me, man, is just this little spring right here.
You like that?
Just that's a
It's a
beautiful
real spring.
detail.
Yeah,
This beautiful detail right here. Like just like looking at all these things, man. Great. This thing makes it go jump higher, jump, or fly, whatever.
Oh yeah, a
Looking
little
at
bit of
that
boosters
thing,
on the back.
yeah. But then when you look at that screen, you're like, oh, okay, I know what that is. I've seen that in real life.
Brian,
And I don't know if
tell
it,
the
I
kids
don't know
at
if it
home
shows
that we
it, but
got
like,
springs.
so when I later in the images, because I put like a whole shitload of photos, but later in the images, when I go to add details and stuff like that, I added in automotive race car decals for all the shocks and the various like pistons and stuff like that are related to those things, to try and give it more of a real world feel. But yeah, that antenna is hella long. Look at that thing.
That's an antenna.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Goes for
It's
days.
more or less the same photo. I was just kind of like trying to throw ones in in various points to kind of show it off a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a much better photo like a little bit later on of the legs, but yeah, this is
Brian, where did you
pre-weathering
get those
too,
springs?
So. I bought a pack of miscellaneous bits and bobs springs from like I can't remember what it was. I think it was at an IPMS. A guy just had like a bag full of springs. You can get them at like hobby stores and stuff. And here's where I started to do some
RCs
chip
and stuff like
weathering.
that.
Yeah. And I just have them all separated out into a big tray that I've dumped at least twice.
Is that hairspray that you did with this, or?
Yeah. This is hairspray chipping. With mission models, and then that Createx white is what you get that real ashy white wash out, which I'm doing on my current build too, which is a lot of fun. This was really hard to weather those shoulders. Actually, I had to work my ass off because the blue paint is, as you guys probably know in the squad here, blue paint is so pigment heavy and it is so tough. So getting it to wear out and look good
It's a
without
dense paint.
just fucking off on me was a pain in the ass.
That was mission models, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're dense paint to begin with, so you used a very opaque color on top of that.
Yeah, some of them do. The grays from missions is pretty light, and the greens too, because the greens here are mission greens, I think. Yeah, that's the missions Grungrau.
Yeah. That looks
Or Grau. Yeah, right. Pretty hype. Yeah, and then once again, all just hairspray chipping layers. So yeah, on the toe, you can see that I did the base layer of brown, and then I painted over it with the green, and then I painted over the green with the blue, and chipped through the blue, through the green to the brown to give it that this was a different color, and it was painted blue on top of it, and then that has been chipped through to get the base. So it's just like another level of depth to sell that whole story.
And
Give it a little bit.
Primer for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You're chipping through the paint to the primer level, or even beyond that to the bare steel, and then you're getting rust. So.
Yeah. And then here's like a before and after of like raw masked, clean masked, painted piece, and then with the chipping. Some more chipping through multiple layers of paint again. More chipping.
So Brian, when you do chipping of multiple paint layers, each layer gets coated, and then you hairspray, and then you paint over that layer, then hairspray, and then paint over. Okay,
Yep.
So that. Then how do you control? I mean, is it something you can control when you're going through the layers on how, I show one layer I stop, or do you just kind of keep going until?
Yeah, that's all, and that's all just brush technique at me on the backside. So
yeah.
You can try your best to preset things up, and if you want, what you can do, and some people do this, but it takes a lot more time in my opinion, you can go through, you can do a pre-paint and then do a layer of hairspray on your next color, and then chip that, and then paint over that with hairspray, and then try to work back from your previous chips. But I feel like that gives a weirder and more aggressive result on the center of where your chip actually was, and you end up over chipping, and you can end up back to bare plastic.
You won't get a more organic kind of look.
Yeah, than you would like. And then this is a little bit of an example here of what the masking looks like when I do that. So it's just like layers, and then I throw it like layer of paint, throw down some masking in the to kind of like how it feels right, and then another layer of paint, and then throw down more masking, and then everywhere you lay down masking tape, it retains the color. So think of it like a reverse mask. Instead of you trying to mask to keep color off, what you do is you mask to keep color on. So it all starts as a base brown, you add a color, whatever it might be. Like this one, I think the base color was like a dark green or something like that. So then I added green and however I wanted it, and then I put tape on that, and then I sprayed that with hairspray, and then I put more paint on that, or I put more tape on that, and then whatever hairspray, paint, tape.
That's an interesting take on camo, because I've always worked the other way around, where I start with my lighter tones and then mask the light tones to block out, and then I end up with my darker tone. But by the time it looks like I went the reverse way, so it's interesting to do it that way for masking for that. It was cool to see there's multiple ways to get the same effect in camouflage.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit of trial and error, because when you do that, when you start that way, you usually start out with the darkest tone, and then you work your way up to the lightest tone. And then you can see, there's multiple layers of tape down there with one of the darker tones on it.
So you're just cutting slivers at this point, and then
yeah. That's what made it easy. It wasn't like when I had to punch all those dots and they all had to be meticulous. This was like you just take a strip of tape and you're just like,
you're just cutting it at an angle. Yeah,
exactly. Actually, what I did, I'm not gonna lie, I made vertical strips of tape down my thing, and I took a ruler and I actually like kind of visually measured it out, and so I had them all like even all the way down. And then as I had that, I was like, oh, this is awful. And I had to go back and make them all vary because they were all too regular and they had to be different. And here you can see some of the decals thrown on there. There it is, 79 again. Yeah, STP, baby.
Yeah, we got oil proofing.
Right? Yeah, I wanted to give it a little bit more of like a real world funk, and here it is. There's a
Yeah,
little bit of
that's
oil
fine.
on that, like clear coating
And
oil
it's
on
small
that.
enough that it'll unless you see it,
Like,
Yeah, and
go
on
back,
that,
you'll catch it
on
later and
this
go, oh my god, there it is.
Babs, go back 2 images. Is that a smiley face on the tank?
where?
Right there at the
That's
top.
that's
Above did you put a smiley face there?
No.
Oh, it looks like one.
Where?
Yeah, it just kind of looks like a smiley
Zoom
face.
in,
It's like,
zoom in. You zoom in more?
What are we talking about?
No,
so
'cause
if
there's-
you look at the bolt pattern, the way it was at the way it was,
Oh,
why is
it
it
looks like the
allowed?
3 at the bottom connected to make the smiley face, and the 2 at the top are the eyes.
Yeah, no, just a
It
little
wasn't
bit
until you
of
zoomed in
extra
that I actually start
stars.
seeing the separation.
Yeah, I just wanted to add layers, to get it. There you go.
There's one right there.
It is kind of a smiley face right there, oddly enough.
Davey,
smiley faces.
so
You're
Davey
seeing
has
stuff on a microscopic level here. Come on, guys.
Davey has a
It's a
question.
message.
Mhm. What was the most dreadful part of the build? I don't mind masking. So that's not really a part of it because the masking is really like masking is a test of your endurance and your attention to detail.
Zoom in on that.
Because every time you F up masking, it shows.
What is that big decal on the orange right there? Sorry.
You like
Keep
that?
talking,
That
Brian.
is yeah, look it up, man. It's automotive.
Take my word for it.
And so that's not really the thing. I think that the most dreadful or daunting part of it was just making sure that the fit was right. Being a resin kit and being a quote unquote a garage kit, a very very large garage kit. There you go. You can see the legs and detail and stuff that I put into some of the work on the legs there. And another hard part was just trying to, there you go. Yeah, see the shocks. I put the decal up on the top there and got some fans on the bottom. That shit looks good.
Am I
there are
seeing some
parts
mecha
that-
decals right there?
Yeah, there's some mecha decals in there. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, shit.
Careful, we're gonna summon Tim.
Where's Tim?
Those
Yeah, I
Hobbit's
mean,
ears are stinging right now.
Probably the hardest part was figuring out the colors. Like figuring out like big armor plates and stuff like that are sort of okay. Like I did a bunch of detail work. I added extra stuff. Like if you go back to those legs real quick, Pebs, and zoom in on the like where the knee is, like behind the knee, you see there's that part that's like the camouflage bit with the
You're assuming
the
we
part
know
on
what he
top.
is.
That's custom. So that bit there.
You did the
Is
shins
like-
and stuff too on the top of the
That's
foot, right?
Yeah, I did shins on the top of the foot. I did that side on the outside of the leg, right behind the knee there on the top, that whole camouflage part, and then the part above it. That is a kit bash assembly that's like made up of like 5 or 6 parts and then puttied and then made to fit in. It's actually 2 pegs. I drilled and pegged it in. And then yeah, I did emerald for the back of the legs too. That Luca didn't do. I just felt like once because I had to modify the geometry of the model, which we talked about last show, and then doing that, it opened up more of the mechanics inside. I mean, I added more mechanics to it too, but it opened it up, and I felt like that was just not good for protecting against getting shot. So I added more
arrow
armor
to the
to
knee.
the leg. Yeah.
I like it.
Big guy.
Man.
It's big. It is real big.
Spectacular.
I
Spectacular.
apologize,
Huge
guys.
too.
It's badass.
I've probably
seen
gone
this in
about
person.
5 times already, and it's not because of the content. It's because my prescription meds are kicking in.
Oh, man.
So that's
Okay.
Sleeping time for Z.
yeah. I'm on
Yeah, I
some-
threw a pile of photos. So yeah, this
This
is just
thing
kind
is
of like
incredible. Like it looks
I don't
incredible.
feel so bad now.
Oh yeah, there's that gold
This-
detail. The back of the I love that eat the rich detail too.
Eat
And there it
the
is with the
rich.
master grade dom.
Eat the rich.
That's a master. Yeah, there's a master grade dom with it. So you guys see, and there it is with the flea. So you can see how
Oh my
big the damn
god,
thing is
that gives
compared
the
to the
flea
flea.
even more perspective on how big it is.
The flea is fucking huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, this
Please.
is fantastic, man. Like I cannot. Every time I see this thing, I cannot like go. Wow, this is
It's
This is something-
incredible.
Lee is right here.
Shit. Oh, shit. What you doing with that big ass thing there, man?
Yeah, I could just don't drop it, please.
I want to bring over the mantis.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Brian, for that.
Sorry,
man.
I know that went on for way too long. Thank you.
No, you're fine. You know, it's really cool to see other people's progresses, especially if you're looking for inspiration, you're looking for kind of the way this is. You brought a bag to the show.
He got a bag. He's opening up shit right now.
But yeah, it's interesting to see, especially when you're tackling such a big project like this, and people who want to step their game up and want to go further, to kind of know what the mindset is for, especially for something that takes this much work to get to look right and to look good. So I think people appreciate that.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if you guys don't follow him, @bro_builder on Instagram,
I know that guy.
and he also does his streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays with the
cool.
code Power with OJ, youtube.com/bro builder. So definitely, if you guys want to, I know you guys pretty much 98% of you guys watch those shows, so I'm sure.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, so
Well,
now
we're all out of time.
nope, we're going one more. All right, and we're doing a feature build this time
All right.
from this gentleman. Gundamoniumworks.
Hey, I know
Well,
that guy.
Mikey, you have to do this in Arnold's voice the entire time.
The whole time.
Tell you that.
Oh no!
So,
We'll never get through it if we do that.
now we're gonna what's the word for it? I can't remember what I was gonna say, but we're gonna do something similar where Mikey's gonna talk about his processes and kind of what he went through with his build. And
'Cause some of the pics I sent were like in progress, and then there was others that were final, nice looking finished pics. So I don't know if you were able to put them all in order, but
I'm not sure either, man. I just whatever was there. So this is Mikey. Was this your most recent build, right? This is
yes, this is the one I just finished before I went to my Mexico trip. So it was a few weeks before that, in January, that I finished this, and this was just the inside look at the funnels before I had finished assembling them all. I think this is probably during one of the clear coats. Yeah, this is before. Actually, this is after panel lining. It looks like in decals right there. I don't know if I finished clear coating them after the
Mikey,
decals at this point, but I had
for
to
those
do
who
the
haven't-
pattern
who can't
first,
guess
and then
what
I had
this
to do
kit
the
is.
gradient, the gradient over the top of that. So
Yeah. So Mikey. So explain what this build is.
say again.
Explain what this build is, like for people who.
Oh, this is the Hainu Vercom with a HWS system. I originally bought them separately. I know there's a kit now that has both in one big box, but I bought the Hainu first, and then I bought the HWS system at probably Anime Expo, I think, one year. So I've had it for quite a long time, and then it was one of those things where I got finished with whatever I'd built before, and I thought, all right, what am I going to do now? I'll do a Gundam kit, and so I went through my backlog and decided to do something big because I haven't done a Gundam in a while. I've been doing other things like Star Wars and Macross kits, and
so this was just a fun build, like something just to
yeah, this was getting back to building something Gundam, and then also this is the first kit that I've done that didn't have any pre-shading, so it was all just a clean build. No pre-shading, no weathering, just pretty much straight color.
Straight gangster.
Now those two nozzles there, those were, I bought a pair of thruster nozzles for whatever reason. I had this set, and it had some photo etched inserts that went in there. That's what kind of gives them that three-dimensional look. And I'd had them for years. I don't remember when I bought them. I couldn't find a use for them until now. So when somebody told me, it's like, oh, these should be for the mega particle beam, cannon. I was like, that looks like a particle beam nozzle. So
it's a perfect fit, dude. Seriously.
yeah, they worked out
yeah,
great. I just had to
shield.
drill out. I used a unibit, if anybody knows what a unibit is, it's one of these guys here. It's just
Also
this,
called the stepper bit. Yeah.
Step
yeah.
up.
And so that was the only way I could really drill out those nozzles that big, without having this giant drill bit. And I had to kind of build up a piece of tube styrene to support them, the original peg that those came with, so they would have some kind of support down inside and be able to glue them in nice and sturdy.
Now, did you install these before or after your?
I did those after I flat coated it because I wanted those metallic that metal to look nice and shiny and clean. So the color, the rest of the bell there is done in Mr. Color 61, I think, which is a burnt iron, but that's also flat coated, so it still has a little bit of sheen to it, but it doesn't have all the shine, the metallic look. The burnt metal color anyway doesn't have a ton of sheen to it anyway, but I wanted that contrast between shiny and dull, so that's what I did.
Yes.
And these are all the funnels finally assembled, and then I also added those little screw bits into each of the four corners there.
This is just one side too, right? This isn't all the funnels.
Well, no, the Heine only has 6 funnels, so
that's right. It's 3 on 3.
There's 3 on each side. Yeah. It's not like a double fin funnel like I did with the original new Verka. I did a double fin on that one.
The ones that are C-clipped, right?
Yeah. What was that?
They get C-clipped, like they bend in.
They bend
Yeah.
forward.
You have to kind of flop them, flip them around, and there's one side that shows those kind of face inward when they're mounted to the back funnels.
I love this decal placement. Seriously.
Oh yeah,
and
your
hexagons.
That's the original placement. Those are from the kit. I did add some mecha decals to it, and here and there, but mostly all these are from the kit.
Those hexagons aren't though.
No. I decided what I wanted to do was I wanted there was so much white. The kit is predominantly white out of the box, and even the heavy weapon system is white. So I wanted to make it darker. I didn't want to have all that white, but I wanted to make sure the purple parts remained purple in some way. So, but I did add the hexagonal pattern to everything.
Gorgeous, man. And I wanted to commend you on your funnels because it all lined up. They all match. It reads straight across. That first picture that Peb showed, they all read straight across, and it all lined with each other. It looked really
back when
clean.
they're fanned out. That one.
Yeah. Very fucking well done, man.
When I did the first one, I did one, and then when I took the stencil to the next one, I made sure I would place it on there and then look at the other one, and I kept using that as reference to make sure each one of them was in the exact same spot.
Nice.
And try to get the patterns directly down the middle in straight lines and everything, so it was all
very cool.
Cohesive.
You sprayed that all out with Tamiya, or
no? This is all Mr. Color.
Oh, okay, Mr.
All Mr. Color lacquers. There might be a few bits done with some testers enamel, only like silver. Like I might have painted those little rivets there. Those might be hand painted with silver, but very little of that was used. It was mostly all just Mr. Color.
Super nice.
And Mikey, you included the work in progress pictures where you actually labeled which part was going to get painted what, right? If I remember correctly, is that included in
any of those? But what I did is when I took pictures I took a picture of the part because it's kind of hard to remember exactly what colors you want to go where. So I have a Samsung Note. It has a stylus on it. So I took the photo and I actually edited the photo and just drew the numbers. Like, this is what color I'm going to paint this part. This is what color I'm going to paint this part. So I just put numbers all over it. And that way I could go back. Once you disassemble everything, you kind of hard to go, okay, what was I going to paint?
Which part?
When you have it together, it's easier to see that. But that way it was a lot easier for me to remember which part was going to be painted, what color. So when I put it back together,
it's a great idea. Especially when you have that many different tones of gray. It's like, what's the gray to go where? Is this where the dark one goes? Yeah, I mean, especially in the heavy weapon system, there's so many different color tones you have on there. It's definitely a method to keep.
Initially, my initial color scheme didn't have that lighter gray, and when I was painting the legs is when I realized there was just too much of one color, and so I decided to add the lighter gray, and then that created more separation for the whole kit. So,
oh yeah, I think that was a great choice.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was too much of one color. I wanted it darker than the white, but I didn't do it as dark as some of my other schemes that I've done, which I call like a sinister color scheme. It's mostly black and grays and a little bit of light gray, but this was still staying a little bit lighter, but not as bright white as the original kit.
Oh yeah.
But there was just too much of that gray. That it was more of that medium gray in this. So I had to lighten it up, and by adding that lighter color, it really broke it up and made it come together, I think.
Oh yeah.
So,
it was definitely a great choice.
The color choices are phenomenal. They blend so well together, man.
He's talking about Z.
I don't want to interrupt Mike because all these comments coming through. First of all, hey Craig, thanks for jumping in. But currently, I'm on prescription codeine and tramadol, and they're both kicking in like about 30 minutes ago. That's why I was drinking coffee, because I'm like, I don't want to pass out.
And he's drinking too. I mean, he's drinking on top of it. So.
And I'm drinking on top of it. So like, I'm
accelerated.
Oh shit, man!
So that's
tramadol,
why I'm
Ultram or tramadol, dude. That'll get you.
Yeah, right. So if you guys don't know, I'm having a lot of back issues for the last couple of months, and they're just trying different concoctions to help me kind of. None of the pain never goes away. I just get really fucked up and high, and it's awesome. So
I have a pinched nerve, so I've got these three fingertips are all numb right now. Yeah. So it's all going down this side of my left arm. Yeah, fun. It's fun getting old, isn't
it? Right.
Yeah. Mikey, when you were picking colors, you figured these would be all complementary towards each other?
I wanted to go with a gray scheme. Okay, and I think we talked about this. I think before I even started painting, I brought it to some guys like Pabs, and we were talking about what colors to choose from, and I wanted them to complement each other. So there's actually 4 colors, and they're all in the gray spectrum, I guess. There's German gray, which is almost looks black in some cases on this kit, depending on the photo you're looking at, and then there's like a medium and a lighter gray. So you can actually see like the leg armor there. That's all 4 colors right there.
Oh, there you go.
So you've got a 333. That's the kind of like the medium. Well, the stripe in the center, that's 333. The lightest one I think is 25. And let's see, I've got them here. So yeah, you got 324, 333. And 25. Those are the 3 grays that I used. Actually,
so then, Mikey, none of these are custom colors. They're all straight from the bottle.
I was straight out of the bottle. I didn't custom anything.
Nice.
I was gonna make a joke that this is what your Super Nintendo looks like if you were in a smoking household.
Yeah, because it gets that tinge.
Oh yeah, right. The little bit of the discolored. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to nap.
No, the plastic. You know, the plastic on a Nintendo, like weather. If it's in the sun, you like your old Nintendo.
What was that last comment that just came up on screen? Sorry, Brian.
Right, here you go.
I'm loving the whole thought process of the description, but can you just keep it down a bit? Z is stuck her down.
We'll wrap it up soon.
The photos are really good, Mikey.
The shield,
really nice photos, man.
The shield here has some custom scribing done to it because there was virtually no color separation in the original shield. So I added a lot of those lines that go along the edges to separate the gray from the purple. That not necessarily the lower portion, but the upper portion in particular. You see those that go down the side. Those are all custom scribe lines, and then
the whites.
Yeah, like along that edge where the purple.
Too, right?
Huh?
You even did some scribe work at those vents, right?
No.
Those little notches.
That's all. That's all. Just along the edges where that white strip there. That's Mr. Color 316. That's like an off-white used in a lot of the Macros kits. But I did add those ones down over the edge, so that the purple kind of goes over the top of the shield. Kind of goes down the side a little bit.
Yeah.
Get those whites on the side.
I love the shield, man. Ooh.
That's good.
Yeah,
heavy weapon system is
it's
great.
big and heavy and back heavy. I still
This
have
is-
to build some kind of a base for it because
This is the only thing I like about the heavy weapon system. Is just the shield, because I don't like the front, because it makes the high noon look like
The box
Yeah,
boobs.
it's garbage.
yeah. damn, this sleepy man is like talking shit, right?
Dude, I'm talking
Woke
about
up to that.
that shield,
it's
the
okay.
front-
He's
the front
not
of
gonna
the
remember. He's not gonna
HWS.
remember tomorrow morning.
Mikey,
No,
did you?
I don't like the front of the HWS either. I love the shield design, but that front like squared off kind of armor, I was like takes away from
Oh,
the side
thanks,
of the
Flynnberger. That was awesome. I like that. Thank you.
I can't wait until we get to the shoulders. I want to hear Mikey's talk about those decals and masking head. There we go. Because go back.
Those there.
This is a crispy detail right here that when I was watching you build this, I was thoroughly impressed with how well it came out because you had to mask and all that. And I was like, oh man, the tediousness required to make it look this good.
The stencils were definitely a challenge on those shoulder, basically the fins for the funnel system. You know, the backpack portion, because they're curved surfaces and trying to get a consistent pattern that overlaps was hard. So I actually had to paint it in sections. I would put the stencil down and do like a strip across the top edge, and then I would fold the stencil down the side and do a portion of the side. And so because it's three-dimensional, you really had to take your time and it was tough to make them both match. But it just patience and perseverance, really. You know, just slowly. And the stencils I used were they have a light adhesive on them, so they do kind of stay in place. But after you use them a few times, it gets a little bit harder because they want to move around a little bit.
So, Mike, did you use like metallic or kind of stencils, or was it just masking tape kind of stencils?
No, these are they're from the original from Bluebot, but Light Industries out of Canada is the one that makes them, and they don't have as many as they used to, but they still do have the hexagonal stencils, and they're a reusable stencil. It's on a big sheet. In fact, I can.
It's like a vinyl
here and show you real quick.
I had a lead on some
Let me bust them out of
that,
Give me a sec here while I pull them out here.
Yeah, let's look at those circle decals that you used on those shoulder
And
rockets.
laid them out perfectly.
Yeah, so here's this is what they look
Aren't
like.
those
on a
mecha
sheet.
decals?
Yep.
Okay.
So there's different sizes. Like you see how this one's a little bit bigger, and then there's a big one over here, and a couple little tiny ones here. So yeah, you peel them off, and then just lay them on the piece, and they're flexible. They have a little light glue on them. That allows
Are
you
those
to-
ones from Fallout?
Huh?
Are those from Fallout?
No, these originally I bought them from Bluebot.
Bluebot.
But you can't look up this website anymore. It'll take you to some weird website. You have to go to lightindustries.ca.
Right. Because Fallout also
Explicit
Fallout
warning.
also does a hex
Okay.
sheet as well.
If you go back to that last image, Babs, and then zoom in on the shoulder rockets there, those are mecha decals right there. Those warning circles.
Oh wow.
Make a
Oh,
decal.
nice.
Yeah, those are mecha decals right there.
Say it one more time. We'll summon Tim.
Implementation.
No, I don't want to. Let's
Make a
keep
decal,
that. Let's keep that Hobbit in this hole, okay?
So yeah,
He's still
I
resting.
found
He's
some
spending all
little
of his
circles
energy
that
resting.
1/100 scale fit perfectly on there. So
Yeah, that's a good question by Miguel. Are those actually red decals, or are they have a
they
different
are
color?
red. Yes,
They are
those were
red.
red.
Yeah, I think it's the gray kind of going through them, so you can they're kind of lighter, and then obviously you add that matte clear coat, and it just makes them slightly.
Well, the other
slightly
ones,
different hue.
the other red decals are from the kit. So yeah, they have kind of almost an orangey
Yeah.
A different
appearance to them
intensity.
with the color that's behind them. So
Yeah. Mike, man, this is really
Very
nice
well
work.
done.
Gorgeous.
I would love to see somebody make the Ujal Lanhai new in this kind of color scheme.
That'd be
Miguel.
nice.
Perhaps.
No.
Oh man, I almost have a cold coming.
Or Miguel, yeah, maybe Miguel.
Or maybe I
and
can send
Mikey-
mine to Michael, and he
little
can
bottom
do
of
it.
the foot love right there.
Mike, yeah, I just
Look
sent
at
you.
that.
I just sent you a link to the one I found. See, they have a handful
Oh,
of different
okay.
ones.
I just heard my phone ding. Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, you might get a kick out of those.
Michael, if you don't mind doing this again, but with the resin upgrade, I have a contest I need to win, and I'd love a ghost.
Is that the one that the same resin upgrade that Brian's doing right now too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of masking done on the back, the inside of this shield too,
It looks like it.
because all of those, like especially like that little framework issue there, those are all that was all masked. That was that was fun.
I was gonna say,
also
you don't hand paint anything. You
Somewhere
mask.
in here, there's an image of the inside of the shield. I did a lot of that with plastic strip. I don't know where it's at exactly in my images, but there's one that shows the inside of the shield, and
This is the last.
not that shield, not the back one, but the one on the arm. Somewhere in there.
The stock one, not the heavy armor.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. Maybe we blasted past it. I don't know, but there were just no internal details to it, so
Mm-hmm.
I added a lot of strip to add that, give it a little bit of structural. No, that's it.
Oh, I think
Yeah, I don't think we got that
Oh
one.
well.
I remember you showing
Take it
your
before I
off
give you
mechanism now.
I want to know what the DB hat is, Miguel. I don't do DBs. All right.
You want a Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Z? hat? I got you.
Mike. Seriously, man, this is fantastic, dude.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
Straight killed it, dude.
All
You're
right.
gonna enter this in a million contests now and win shit.
it. Yeah, well, when we can have them again.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Tune into your local
I'm gonna make some
SCGMC.
I bought some plastic rods. So
Oh,
I'm
plastic
gonna-
rod.
or acrylic rod. I mean, so I am going to. Yeah, see, I got a big stick. These are some 3/8 acrylic
very
rods. So
nice.
Oh, straight. Oh wait, no, you got acrylic
You got a
rod.
base
Hell
going
yeah.
for it.
For your hell yeah.
yeah, I'm going to make a new base for it because obviously the one that it's really wonky here. I know I got one of these open. Here we go. Yeah, see, so
That's some thick rod, bro.
So where'd you get that from?
it looked. Why?
What?
It's
It's got
What?
some girth.
but I'll.
That rod's got some girth.
Michael,
I'll come up with some kind of a new base for it before I enter it anywhere. So
I'd like to invite you back and this time maybe bring the F-14 pictures with.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, we're trying to diversify
Mikey,
our bonds.
can
as
you
a
light it
model
up for
making
us?
show.
Oh no, no, I'm not gonna light it up.
See, Dave, that's what it's all about.
Oh.
Oh,
There
I'll,
you go.
I'll submit the F-14. Yeah, that's cool because I don't usually do kits like that. So that was
Yeah.
fun. That was a
That
fun
was
one.
great. It
Yeah.
came out
We'll
awesome.
do, we'll
I
do
love the
another.
shuffle images.
We'll do another Mikey feature at some point in the future. Like I think it'd be really cool to.
Season 3.
But yeah, so with that was the last submission of the evening. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and tuck Z in because this man is poopy.
He's
Yeah.
tired.
I'm gonna take a nap. right here.
His eyes are all swollen. He's ready to go
Dude,
down.
I need to go wash my face a little bit. Cold water, and I'm up.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's go through the roundtable real quick.
Wait. Didn't you want to talk about something else before we?
Well, I was gonna do that at the end.
Oh, after the fact. Oh,
After
okay.
the roundtable.
rush
He
the
wants
man.
he wants the screen to himself.
Go to
I get
bed,
it.
Z. Yeah, he's trying to tuck you in. Now go
Yeah,
to bed.
get the
Jesus.
man
Yeah,
a
so
chance.
let's go ahead and start with Sleepy Man.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for jumping in today, and it was a really good time, a lot of fun, and I hope you got the kind of takeaway from tonight and every other episode is that even though we have all these great, amazing builders and great builds, none of them are perfect, and don't be afraid to get out there and do this stuff. And you have access to all these amazing people to help you do that stuff. So I'm glad you guys tuned in, and I'm happy to have been here as well. So I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully.
Cool. And we got this gentleman right here
Yo,
drinking his wood.
it was a great show. I really enjoy every build that was on here. Like, there's some real good stuff. I can't wait to see more stuff. Thanks
Do
for
we see a
watching.
Poochie in the back?
Yeah, she's laying down
Is
her,
that
little,
Poochie?
her self-warming little thing I got for her.
Oh.
She's knocked out right now, snoring probably. I'll see you guys Tuesday on some Kodokai Robododo, and then some Wednesdays. to hand paint some stuff. Maybe I'll have a Dendrobium finished snapped up by then.
Weddy weddy.
Maybe.
Yo, fuck you, Miguel.
Geriatric representative.
We got to represent all ages.
Yeah, you know?
All right. Thank you, Julio,
Thanks for having me.
man.
Keep submitting. Let's keep talking.
Let's keep doing it. All right.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Poor Z. Guy can't catch it. Yeah. Was a blast. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me talk about something I've worked on for a long time. Thanks, Mike, for stopping in too. I want to say, even though I'm not the host of this shit, I'm just kind of along for the ride. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys again for submitting all of your wonderful builds. Can't wait to see some more cool stuff. Don't forget the CritiQual core build off is going around. I got mine primed, and it's right here.
Yeah.
And very soon, I'm going to start working on that again. So that's going to be pretty hype. I hope that you guys are having fun and exploring your core build off too if you're doing it. And if not, then just have a good time doing whatever you're doing.
Oh yes, thank you, Brian. Always a pleasure
Thank
talking
you,
to you,
guys.
man, and hearing your processes and all that stuff. It was great. It really was.
Thanks.
No problem.
Oh, hello,
Hey,
guys.
that
Shit, I don't know what I can say that hasn't been said already. A lot of great builds. You guys are making this very hard on us. We now have to nitpick every build to come up with something to talk about, which is just a, it's an attribute to the builders that are submitting, and also as a testament to show. I mean, we saw some first timers doing some things that they've never done before, and they were able to execute it properly. And that shouldn't deter you from wanting to try something new. It should motivate you in a way that it's possible to do something right the first time. You just have to take your time, think about the process, and we're here to help you along the way too. I mean, nothing has to be done right here, right now. So if you want to get a great product done, just take your time, think about it, and you'll do great work. Thanks for having me. I'm running out of words to say, and yeah, it's been great.
Awesome.
Don't let the girls stop you.
building, stay busy, build
Yes,
everything.
and there
Thank you
are
for
a
the-
magnitude
and ass
of
for Kyle.
competitions to jump into, and when
Yeah.
I say these are great opportunities, I mean it. Like, don't think of competition as a deterrent. Oh, I'm never going to build as good as these guys. Remember, it's not about winning. It's about the experience. And believe me, I've learned the most in my career as a hobbyist through competition than I have through any other time. If I'm fucking around, I get things done partially. But if I'm doing competition,
You have
like,
goals?
is there something to motivate me to be like, hey, I want to do what they can do, and if I succeed, I succeed. If not, if not. But it's still always been fun. So, take these opportunities. With USA Gundam and ZakuAurelius competition as well as the critical core build off. These are good places to experiment, learn, and then test your might. So, take those
exactly.
opportunities.
Just you might.
Well played. Well played.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Awesome.
All right, transition.
Thank-
Transition.
thank-
Hurry up. Transition.
All right, and our special guest, Mikey.
Fucky.
Thanks for having me, guys. Humbled to say the least, man. A lot of good comments, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, this is probably one of the funnest times I've ever had on one of these live streams of. So yeah, keep
Thanks for
going.
coming through, Mike.
I'd love to do this again. Unfortunately, I don't know.
We'll talk, Mikey. I got you, bro.
I mean, maybe just as a not as a feature builder, but I'd love to be back. It's fun. It's really nice to see everybody's projects and their progress and pushing themselves a little bit to try new things and stuff. So, and for me, it is about the winning. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Come on.
Winning feels real good, man.
So,
Come on. Give me the trophy. Come on.
I need one more.
real quick before we say goodbye, I want to share this thing that I've been waiting to share to the end of the show. Where is it? Here we are. So as you guys know, we've been pushing out like Critical Builds merchandise very recently, as the hats and stuff and the hoodies, and more very recently To Me It's a Fail shirts from our very old geriatric sleepy man over to my
To me, it's a sleepy.
Mr. Z over here. I'm gonna have to make a t-shirt of that at some point. But what a lot of people don't know is that a lot of these shirts are going to be very limited edition. So essentially, once I start adding new things, I need to remove old things. So that includes any of the shirts and stuff. So get them while I can. And there is a new edition.
Yeah.
The Bro Builder, it's all words, baby, all over print meant to buy a T-shirt. All right, so this is a transcription of Ryan's words throughout 20 minutes of a stream in a beautiful athletic fit T-shirt. Again, this is limited edition. This, and to me, is a fail T-shirt, are only going to be up until the next episode of Critical Builds. And then that is another thing. I'm going to announce tonight the next episode of Critical Builds is going to be the 27th of March.
Yep.
So that is the next episode.
Solidified.
So just because of scheduling,
hurry up.
yeah, just because of scheduling conflicts and all that stuff, it's going to be a bit of a wait, but it'll definitely be worth it because I'm also going to announce the guest of that show, Miss Armina Pebdani.
Somebody got their ducks
Get
in
ready
a
to
row.
get real burns.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be responsible for what she says. That's just her. I'm not putting a filter on that. Nope. So
Bring in the boobs.
Yep. So definitely keep an eye out. We'll announce it. As we get closer to the date, but it will be Tex Marquise. It'll be the rest of us, and then this shirt will be up until that episode, and then there will be a new shirt, and that will replace these shirts. So get them while you can, and then and that's it. So I'll go ahead and stop this screen, and then I'll go to me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been definitely a fun one, definitely one full of information and new types of builds, and that's something I really want to encourage everybody.
It's a girthy episode.
Exceptionally girthy.
It's got lots of girth.
It's got its girth certificate.
You're talking to an agent.
Oh Lord. Okay. Anyway, before this goes off the rails, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for people who for the guys on the show tonight. Big thank you to Mikey Wine for spending the last
thanks,
4 hours
Mike.
with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, it was an absolute pleasure having you here. It's been like just your processes and your thoughts, man. I think that amounts to a heck of a lot. And before these guys started talking about girth, I just wanted to kind of emphasize, we saw a lot of new things on today's show, like Sean Wiles's Land Rover and all that stuff. And it's something I really want to encourage people to kind of submit. It's not just about the Gunpla. It's not just about the big robos. If you guys have or are interested in planes or automobiles or tanks and stuff like that, please submit those. There will be more of those on the show, and you guys can take what you learned from what you've seen on this show, and you can apply it to your builds. You can, again, like Kyle says, you can apply it to ZakuAurelius's clean versus weathered build off Clean Boys for Life. Just
dirty baby, dirty.
That's what this show is about. And if possible, I'm going to go ahead and talk to Zach and see if we can have work in progress photos of his build off on here, and you guys can talk about them, and I'll be completely silent. So big thank you. Yeah, unless it's dirty, then I can unfilter it.
A hello and thanks for jumping on to Robert. He just
Robert.
What up, Kurtz, man?
Yeah, and and with that, guys, I want to thank you all again. We will see you on the next one. Remember the 27th of March with Tex Marquise. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you on Tuesday for the Protocol Robo Dojo Critical Build Off.
See you at the after party.
Pips.